Why did it say wire to wire on it?
Because they've set it up to where when you push go live.
Good morning.
You know what, dear friends, family, compatriots, colleagues, comrades in arms? It is a good morning indeed. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. It's the midweek edition of the show. Spectacular to have you with us today and every day from 6 until 10 a.m. right here on the Fan Upstate. Do you not have your normal ones? Because those look broke.
Yeah. I think someone else uses these, and they, I'm gonna have to leave.
It looks like somebody has a bigger head than you, and that's impressive.
I'm not gonna say anything because we both know who it is.
I'm not going to say anything either. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. Great to have you folks. Welcome in. Hope that you had a lovely Thursday. Nope, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. Thursday. Yeah, I'm getting there. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Listen, it's we've been doing this show in this time slot for coming up on a year now, and I can tell you, and I mean this with all sincerity, you don't get used to it. You just don't. When I worked for my old station back down in Destin, when they moved me to the mornings, my very first morning drive show, the gentleman that was a longtime host of that show was a mentor of mine. And when he moved me into that spot, or when they moved me into that spot, I asked him one day, and something that I don't know why, like, you know how sometimes somebody says something to you and it just kind of sticks with you for a very long time? This is one of those things, and I don't know why. But I spoke with this gentleman and I said, hey, how long do you have to do this before you get used to waking up this early in the morning? And he, a gentleman by the name of Adam McCloskey, dear friend of mine, to this day, still talk to him. Adam looked me in the face and he said, you never get used to waking up this early. You just get used to being tired most of the time. And no one has ever given me more sage advice in all of my years than Adam McCloskey, who said, yeah, you're never going to get used to it, bud. You're never going to wake up one day at 3:30 in the morning and go, oh, I feel refreshed. I feel No, you're just going to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go, oh, bleep, here we go again. So there are some days you're just going to have to give me a minute, people. Today, perhaps one of those days. But I do have very, very good news. The show is chock-a-block full today. I do have very good news. We have a lot of things to get to, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of stuff to discuss, debate, and engage in friendly or otherwise discourse this lovely Wednesday morning as we move to the back half of the week. And I'm glad that you are all here to do that with me, with us today. You good now? We set over there? There's a bit of chaos this AM for your buck nut and chief.
All right, you are taking a lot of pleasure in me.
I'm not,
because this is usually you, and
it's almost exclusively me. No. Almost entirely, always, exclusively me.
Turns out those other headphones are the right headphones. It's just they may be broke now.
Oh, okay.
So
it's a bit of a bummer for you.
Well, might be time to go get another pair.
I got my new cans 6 months ago or so, and treat yourself, Alonzo. Have yourself a little treat. Spend some money on a good set of cans. It's a privilege.
By the way, I do. That's what I mean. You see, I spend at least between 80 and like 120 because I have to find something that fit my head. You can't just buy them online.
Can't just buy them online.
I mean, you have to go in.
You can return them. It's going to take you a hot minute.
But as much as we wear headphones, you need to go in and test them out, the comfort,
I agree.
all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
So
I have bought the same brand. These are just the update model. But I've been buying and wearing the same brand for probably 10 years now. Just because I know they fit my big ass head. That's it.
There's a couple. Audio Technica makes some. So does Yamaha that I like. So I will fluctuate back and forth.
Yeah,
but it's time.
All right, we got a lot to get to. No bigger story breaking yesterday than sheer minutes after Lonzo and I got off the air yesterday, because that's just the way it works.
What's up with that? I mean, do it at like I don't know, 9:50.
Yeah, almost inevitably. Lonzo and I get off the air at 10 and then 10:15. Gigantic news breaks yesterday. The New York Jets deciding to fire Robert Saleh as the head coach. He had been there since 2021, ran up a 20-36 record, started 2-3 this year. And I'm kind of up on the air on this decision, to be honest with you. I'm up in the air on this decision for a couple of reasons. Number one, while Robert Saleh was not the defensive coordinator, we do tend to give head coaches some level of grace when the other side of the ball from the one that they are, they have an offensive or defensive mind. We tend to give a little grace on the other side of the football. This is why I have said for the past 2 years, I don't think I am more shocked by the performance of any team in the National Football League than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I and GL wrote off Todd Bowles when he got that job. I went, wait a minute. This team built itself around the offensive side of the football. They just promoted a defensive coordinator to replace Bruce Arians after Tom Brady left. In what world is this going to work out? Turns out the real one is the one that it works out in.
Some head coaches are pretty good at going, hey, you're the offensive coordinator. Do the offensive stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Robert Saleh was leading a Jets defense, and this is what I think it is important for people to recognize. The Jets defense is good. Like, it's good. It's drafted well. It's built well. The play calling on that side of the football has been very, very good as of late. The Jets' problems, not the defense. The Jets' problems are on the offense. Hoomst is the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Nathaniel can't hack it. Nathaniel Hackett is one of the few coaches in the league that's so bad at their job that I do make jokes about them. Like straight up. Most guys, they're not good at their job. I'm like, all right, unfortunately, they're not good at their job. Nathaniel Can't Hack It catches his own nickname on the show. I got Aaron Rodgers out here in that game against the Vikings, tossing 3 picks, which if I recall correctly, and I might be wrong about this, there may be, how they do those stats that have qualifiers to them? They're like, he's never before thrown 3 picks in a game, ... where he was wearing green socks. He's never before thrown 3 picks in a game, ... where he had an espresso before the game. So you know what I mean? Like, they always kind of have that qualifier on there to make it sound like the stat's more important than it is. If I recall correctly, I believe this is Aaron Rodgers' first 3-interception game. Was that the right stat?
I am pretty sure that they said that and that he said that.
Yeah. I mean, he specifically pointed out, I think this is the first game I've had 3 turnovers directly attributable to me. NHF, HF, or otherwise. They're not his fault, directly his fault, or otherwise. So my question, and then there's the Denver loss, right? Then there's the Denver loss. And again, the Denver loss to me, back-to-back L's for the Jets, 10-9, an atrocious game. If your defense holds an NFL team to 10 points, you got to win that game. You just got to win that game. Bo Nix in that game was 12 of 25 for 60 yards. Denver did run for 126, but You held them to a total. I'm bad at math, but I think I can do this one in my head. 60 plus 126 is 186 total yards of offense and 10 points. You got to win that game. And, I kind of look at this and go, wait a minute. It is very clearly and obviously an offensive problem. And while, yes, Robert Saleh is ultimately responsible for the guys that are calling the plays, executing the plays, etc., I kind of felt like this was a bit of a rushed decision. But I thought about this a little bit, and I thought, all right, midseason fire. These don't happen very often. You know who the last coach to get fired in midseason was? Matt Rule.
It's not even midseason.
In season. That's fair. In season.
First third, I guess.
Thank you, Chris.
Just wanted you to be right, Rob.
First in-season firing since Matt Rule a couple of years ago. When a team fires a guy in season, it says that they believe that season can still be salvaged. We can still make something out of this. And the Jets, frankly, can. Because as we pointed out yesterday, when we were doing our NFL quarter season report cards, the Jets are second in that division, and they're only a game back of the Bills. And by the way, the Bills don't exactly look like the juggernaut this year, right? So they do believe this season can be salvaged. And I know that this was a bit of a rushed decision because Peter Schrager of the NFL Network yesterday dropped a little knowledge about how it happened. He went on NFL Net and said this.
Robert Saleh came to work today thinking he was preparing for the Buffalo Bills. He was given no indication that he was losing his job. Showed up, was told to sit in a meeting with Christopher Johnson and Woody Johnson, and I believe some others. Gets in the room, not Joe Douglas, I don't think, in that room. And he was told that he is out of work. And Jeff Ulbrich is being elevated to head coach. Ulbrich, a respected defensive coach, so respected that the Niners even inquired about having him come over to San Francisco after they made their change of defensive coordinator, but he didn't entertain it. He said he's sticking with the Jets. He'll now be the head coach. Really respect the guy, and obviously we can do the whole Ulbrich thing, but I think before we go there, just some facts here. Told Rodgers did not have a significant role in the firing of Robert Saleh, which a lot of people have already indicated online. Hackett does keep his job as offensive coordinator. Todd Downing keeps his job in that offensive room. Joe Douglas keeps his job. It is Saleh who is going to take the pain here after a 2-3 start and two really rough losses. Against the Broncos at home in the rain, and then in London where they got off to such a slow start. We'll have more news.
So there you go.
What's he mean? Dude has not been good since he's been there.
I don't agree. Because I think that, again, we have to start with, we all came into the year assuming the Jets were going to be good. As if this isn't a franchise that's in the midst of a 13-season playoff drought. Now, Salah's been there since 2021. So it's not like he hasn't had time. I don't disagree. What I will say is the elements of the team that I think Robert Saleh has the most influence over, the defensive side of the football, is fine. It's fine. The offense has been what stunk. And I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think Robert Saleh was the guy that hired Nathaniel Hackett. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it was his call, but I don't think so. I think we are looking at a situation. By the way, I do want to say this before I go any further down that line. Two things about Woody Johnson. Number one, your last name is Johnson. Stop letting people call you Woody. Number two, I actually kind of respect Woody Johnson as an owner. Because Woody Johnson, of all the NFL owners, is one of the few that I genuinely think will spend money to make his team good and will make decisions to make his team good. That being said, and here's where Zoe and I are going to butt heads. I put a lot of it on Aaron Rodgers, too. I do. I put a lot of it on Rodgers. Not all of it.
I think a lot of it's everybody. I mean, the performance of everybody. I know, except for the defense, but still, there's a little bit on everybody. But in the end, the head coach is the guy who's going to pay for it. And that's how it works in football and other sports, too. Speaking of Woody Johnson, my wife made fun of him one day. and
Because
it
his
was-
name's Woody Johnson?
No, because
okay.
we were in the box next to them at a Panthers game,
Oh.
and she didn't know who it was. He was getting all animated, and she was like making faces at him and stuff, and he kept looking at her and everything. And then later on, I told her, I was like, that's the owner over there.
Your
She's-
wife was
and she's
openly,
like-
though unintentionally, talking to the owner of the opposing team.
and I believe
I love that.
I can almost directly quote. It was a long time ago. She said, "I don't care." So I mean, just like okay, all right.
Miss Lisa out for blood, even though she didn't know it.
We
Incredible.
she had connections. She got us in that box, not me. And it was catered and all that kind of stuff. It was nice. It really was.
Careful, you don't
Did-
get frostbite holding that nose that high up in the air,
Didn't-
you 1%.
Didn't realize it was right next to the owner's box.
It's
Yeah,
pretty spectacular.
yeah, it was.
Pretty spectacular. Look, the situation breaks down this way to me. Number one, there's not, to me, and I could be wrong, though it's very rare. There's not, to me, a world in which Woody Johnson didn't run this by Aaron Rodgers, who has had basically input on every other decision this team has made for the past 2 years. The guys that have come into play wide receiver. Alan Lazard is a Jet because of Aaron Rodgers. Okay? He's had that control. So that's not to say that Aaron Rodgers had the say. Like he called up Woody Johnson like, hey, big Woody, I want Robert gone.
Stop it. You know he doesn't want to be called. I mean, he might.
Listen,
but you know,
Woody.
after Jay Richardson, you got to be careful. I mean, you know.
Hey, big Woody, I know it's a hard decision. All right?
Stop.
And I don't want to be an employee that comes off as stiff here. All right? I don't, and I'm not trying to give Robert Salah the shaft. I'm really not.
You must chill.
But, you know, I think we really gotta think this decision through. All right. I'm gonna come into your office, out of your office. We need to talk about this conversation. I don't think that happened. I don't think any of that happened. I think ultimately what happened here is Salah looks at this team and he said yesterday, this is the most talented team I've had in 25 years. And I don't think he's wrong at all. I think this is the most talented team they've had since Vinny Testaverde was there. And this year feels salvageable. And on top of all of that, here's the reason I think Rodgers does have more of a say in this conversation. I think we all know Rodgers is at the zenith of his career, right? He's at the end of his career. He's at the end. God, that was bad. The end of his career.
It's okay. It's still the same word, but you put more emphasis on it. That made it different.
Yeah. I was trying to think of another unnecessary word to use there. He's at the end of his career. And I think if you're the Jets, realizing that window is closing for you to have a Hall of Famer directing the team, if you don't make the playoffs, what's the impetus for Aaron Rodgers to come back? Either to not retire or to not demand a trade to go to play for a winner next year, right? To go somewhere that's close but needs a quarterback. To go, I got one more shot at this. So I think effectively the Jets here think they can salvage the season. And more importantly, think if they want a shot at the postseason with Aaron Rodgers, have to. They have to.
Do you think it's a big deal, like other people are making a big deal of it, the fact that he was escorted out by security?
I'm real curious about that.
Yeah, that seems, I just seen another thing from Pro Football Talk, and I heard this yesterday. I think I saw it on McAfee, that Adam Gase was not escorted out.
No, in fact, somebody I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry for this. I wish I was. I was watching yesterday afternoon as I got prepared for the midday siesta. I had it on NFL Net, just kind of watching the fallout from this, and I can't remember who it was, but one of their insiders said that this is the only coach that they can remember in the modern era getting a security escort out of the building. Like, did Woody Johnson think Robert Salah was going to beat the crap out of him?
I mean,
like he was going to snap?
Maybe if Dan Campbell's ever let go, maybe you could see that because of the intensity. Salah, he's got that look in his eyes. Maybe, I don't know.
It's weird.
But we don't know. I mean, I didn't watch Hard Knocks when they were on it, but so I don't know how, if he's kind of over the top and reacts angrily to things.
I don't know. I don't know. And again, I'm not gonna judge because I don't know, right? Like you said, Robert Saleh, maybe Saleh's got a little roid rage left in him.
Hey, look around your building where you work, and is there someone who you think, that guy or girl, they would have to be escorted out? I know there's people here.
For sure. There's people everywhere I've worked. So I'm not going to judge that. Like, I know it's an interesting conversation in that we love some drama, but whatever. It kind of is what it is to me. What I really want to know is how involved in this decision was Aaron Rodgers? Was it his decision? Are they doing this because he said it? Did they run it by him? Were they like, no, screw that. You're the quarterback. You're not the GM. You don't have a say at all. Like, I'm interested in that. I'm interested in what it was, because Woody Johnson put out a statement that said, this was my decision. This is my call. Me, myself, and I, and nobody else. This was my call.
I am seeing tweets, X threads, whatever, from people who seem to be in the know, who say that that Aaron Rodgers was surprised that he didn't know it was coming.
See, and again, this is why yesterday, if you go to my Twitter feed, you'll notice I was shockingly quiet yesterday. I didn't have jokes. You know why? Because I don't know what happened here. This is an owner who I do respect, and that he's one of the few that I truly do feel will spend money, make the power plays to make it. They all own it because they want to profit off of it, but there are a handful of owners that I truly, genuinely believe want to win and are willing to spend their own money to make that happen. And Woody Johnson's in a very small group of owners I feel that way about. But I also know he can be a bit impetuous. I feel like he can be a little trigger happy, a little dramatic with his decision making process.
I have seen personally Woody get very angry in that booth, because I was watching him too, very animated and stuff like that. So I'm guessing they probably have had words before, and who knows, the firing may not have went amicable. Maybe it got heated, and so that's why he had to be escorted out.
Robert, we appreciate all your efforts, but we're relieving your review duties. You know what, Woody? You. All right, Bud, Big Pete, why don't you get in here? Why don't you walk Robert to his car? Robert, don't worry. We'll mail you your stuff. Your last check's in the mail. I don't know. This is why I'm not passing judgment on the situation. What I'm going to say is, first off, good job not giving Nathaniel Hackett the interim head coaching job. God, could you imagine that disaster? Second off, we'll see. If the Jets turn around and they win this division, then we're all going to look back and go, what a move. And if they completely fall apart, melt down, implode with nuclear violence, then we're all going to look back at this and go, Jets gonna jet. You know who aren't Ets gonna et? Mets apparently aren't gonna Met. They're gonna beat the Philadelphia Phillies in this divisional series, or they're going to lose 2 games in a row to Philly, blow up entirely, and Mets are indeed going to Met. We're going to talk some baseball. Kurt Warner was on the internet yesterday. He gave the way that he would coach up young quarterbacks, and I think he said some things I found very interesting and would like to get to. And Jey Uso's Waffle House order, all coming up on the show today. Rob Lonzo and you, the Rob Brown Show is on the radio. It's the Fan Upstate.
Matt World.
All right, guys, quick live read out of the gate. We're coming right back. Stay right there for me, please, and thank you. And also, good morning, everybody. BRB. everybody. Good Wednesday morning. Happy to have you here. As a lifelong Packers fan, Aaron Rodgers is indeed the GM. Yeah. All the things that people have said about LeBron for years are true about Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not going to make those assumptions because I'm not in that room.
I don't even think they're assumptions anymore. I just consider it knowledge. Now, that's not to say that this is on him.
I'm guessing the star on every team has some say, no matter what the sport.
The Rob Brown Show. 3-2, just like that. 3-2 out of the gate. Rough. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Rob the Great Malonzo with you. Let's keep on this Jets thing here for just a minute. We're not going to spend the whole day on it, but this is Rob. What do you talk about NFL teams that are not in our market? Because what every team does impacts every other team. All right, that's the NFL. Who was it, Zoe? I don't know if you remember. Who was it? We had somebody on. Was it? Oh, it was Steve Smith, Panthers wide receiver. We had Steve Smith on. I was on Wire to Wire that day. But we had Steve Smith on one day when Diesel and I were up at Panthers camp at Clemson. And Steve was talking about quarterbacks or something. And he made the point that it's the NFL. Every decision made by every team has consequences on every other team, right? You hire this guy, it has consequences that can reach. It's the old proverbial butterfly effect, right? If I hire this guy over here, somebody else has got to replace him. That comes off of that team. Then they got to go grab that guy from that. It has a ripple effect across the league. So this is why I think NFL fans pay more attention to all 32 teams than college fans do to any other team, with maybe the exception of like their rival, right? So this Robert Saleh thing, there's a couple of things. Texter wrote in a minute ago and said Aaron Rodgers can tell in 3 seconds when he's assaulting his head coach that they're not into it. And for a dynamo like Aaron Rodgers, that is a all caps deal breaker. I don't know how many times that video clip yesterday of the week 1 or 2 game where Rodgers threw a tutty and he heads to the sideline and Robert Saleh goes for the bro hug, right? And Aaron Rodgers puts both hands on his chest like an offensive lineman throwing a perfect pass pro block and pushes him back and stares into his like death glance into his eyes, right? And pushes him away and then just walks around him.
All right, so he said that wasn't a big deal. What if Aaron decided to do his own thing and call his own plays there, and that's why he come off and said that?
Look, I don't care what the reason is. It's not again, I'm not saying like anything other than it's a pretty bad look when you score a tutty, you walk over. By the way, Robert Saleh, not the play caller for the offense. That's the thing, you can't hack it, right? Unless Saleh has taken over play calling duties, in which case, okay, well, you hired a bad OC. Regardless of the reason it happened, it's a real bad look when the QB throws a tutty, the HC goes over to hit the celly with him, and the QB pass blocks him away from him.
See, but Kelce did that to Andy Reid. It bumped him last year.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, so
Travis Kelce doesn't exactly have the reputation that Aaron Rodgers does, right? And reputations are reputations.
Travis
for a
Kelce
reason.
has a hothead reputation on the field.
I don't disagree. But is there any thought that there's an underlying deep-seated problem between Travis Kelce and Andy Reid?
There was at the time. People were, the media was going crazy
for
about
like 3 minutes after a game.
I'm just pointing out that it happens.
I understand.
Yes.
I agree. And I also think that when it happens, we go eyeballs on. But reputations are reputations for a reason. Reputations are typically built, not created. Reputations typically have some, not always, 100% accurate, but reputations are frequently rooted in reality. And the reality is Aaron Rodgers has had a number of head coaches, and there are very few of them that have had good things to say about Aaron Rodgers when their relationship was terminated, right? Like very few. And so this is why I think that to some degree, I'm not putting it all on him, but to some degree, I do put it on Aaron Rodgers. Because my thought here is, this is a guy with a reputation of having bad relationships with coordinators, with head coaches throughout his time in the National Football League. And if your QB is openly having conflict with the coach, and it's not like they were trading verbal jabs, but there are two instances. Number one, the push heard around the world. And number two, a couple of weeks ago, there was a whole thing with the cadence, right? Where Robert Saleh comes out and he's like, yeah, we're getting the cadences wrong. We're going to have to change some stuff. And then Rodgers in the media, he's like, no, we don't have to change anything. The cadence is fine. We just got to get on the same page. And Saleh comes out and he's like, well, it's say that, but we got to. And they're like bickering, but via reporters. If you're running a well-run organization, the second Rodgers says something about it into a microphone, Saleh's on the phone going, hey, Rod, my office right now. We need to figure this thing out. Not trading barbs in the media back and forth. And again, Travis Kelce is a hothead, for sure. That's a reputation that he's earned. Travis Kelce is also a guy that has had now a long-lasting, and I would say very successful relationship with Andy Reid. There's a difference between a guy's a hothead in the emotion of the moment and a guy's just a divisive cat. And I don't care how you feel about him. Forget the off-the-field stuff, the podcast version of Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about that. I care about him as a quarterback. As a quarterback, he's divisive. And so if I got a guy over here who's bickering and headbutting with the head coach, you understand by default that's splitting your locker room. Because there's going to be a handful of guys that go, that's my quarterback, man. And there's going to be a handful of guys that go, who the hell does this guy think he is? It's bigger than the team. You're dividing the locker room.
So many players. You got Tom Brady did this. I mean, so many different players have done this. I just don't see that this is.
Tom Brady did it. But what did Bill Belichick do? We played this audio from him like 3 weeks ago. He said, my coaching style was to tell my team, whatever that guy wants, he gets. My job was to build a team that allowed Tom Brady to be Tom Brady. Now, maybe Saleh's problem was that he did not do that for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Saleh should have walked in the locker room and said, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. You all do whatever 8 needs you to do. Nothing else. I don't care. But Bill Belichick, yeah, Tom Brady could be a hot-headed, divisive guy. But Belichick said, you want to be here? You want to be part of this? You do what 12 says you do. That ain't what the Jets have been doing. And therefore, whether you want to blame him or Saleh or the team or Woody or whoever else, it is because Rodgers is a divisive cat. Now, all that being said, you ready for a fun question? The head coach got fired yesterday. They got to find a new head coach. Hey, what's the name of the Jets general manager? Right?
We shouldn't know the name of the general manager for any team.
No, you absolutely should. The GM is the guy who signs contracts and makes deals.
No, I care about the players. I think most people care about the players, don't care about the GM.
If
you're always talking about how you shouldn't know certain people's names, you shouldn't know the GM's name.
The GM is the guy who makes personnel decisions. You absolutely should. What I shouldn't know is the owner's making decisions, the quarterback's influencing them, and my GM is nowhere to be seen. That's the mark of an organization that's in dire straits, and not like the cool rock and roll band, like the bad kind. All right, let's get away from that. We'll talk some other stuff when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. I don't know that we'll talk some other stuff is the best segue I've ever heard.
I don't know. I was more concerned with Dire Straits as a rock band because I don't know if they are. I mean,
I'd say they're rock.
Are they?
Pop rock, but rock.
I mean, awesome guitars, but I don't know. I guess money. I guess Money for Nothing was rock, but
I'm gonna go.
Was Sultans of Swing rock? I mean, I guess
I would say so.
Okay.
I think you have rock, then you have pop rock, and then you have pop, and there's a crossover in there. I love this video.
Anything but a Red Hot Chili Peppers. Just want to give it away now. I'm gonna go with this.
Cool.
Journey. Don't stop.
Banger.
Oh, small town girl.
Just small town girl.
Living in a lonely world.
You took a midnight train. Going anywhere.
That's my jam. that's fine. I'm going Phil Collins in the air tonight. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. That is mine. Hold on. Niggas left here. For sure. Didn't know he was white though, so it's a little bit of a cheat. I guess you wonder where I've been. What a fool believes. You love what a fool believes. Wait for a This is my freaking jam. We got a multitude. They got it. Those shit we rock with. Ready?
Autumn is in the air. Like the leaves, prices are falling in Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, we've got tons of products on sale, like 3-ton jacks for under $100, 5,000-watt generators, $250 off. Plus, dual bevel miter saws at nearly half the price of the competition. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 10/13/24. While supplies last, so hurry in. Limitations apply.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Ingles Market Studio.
We're gonna have to tell Chris that we require him to just scale the pole and do it. He's got to climb up there.
Take the stations off the air for 2 minutes, bring it down, put it on, put them right back up.
No, I want him to climb up the pole.
It's the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. Rob the Great One Lonzo with you here on a Wednesday morning. The midweek edition of the show rolls on. We have talked a bunch about the Jet situation, firing Robert Saleh yesterday. He is now gone, and they will go with Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, which is the right call, to fill in as the interim HC. We will find out as the season rolls on if that was the right decision, or not. Let's go with a couple of other stories from around a handful of different sports outlets. Saints quarterback Derek Carr suffered an oblique injury in Monday night's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Took an MRI yesterday, according to sources via Catherine Terrell, ESPN staff writer. The MRI confirmed the injury was to the oblique, according to a source. The QB said he thought he suffered the injury while throwing an incomplete pass toward the end of the loss, but more additional testing will be confirmed. The source would not put a timeline on how long Derek Carr would be sidelined. And here we go, great one step closer towards the debut of former South Carolina Gamecock Spencer Rattler, because Taysom Hill's got broken ribs. He's out for a hot minute, which is why, and I mean this, I think that game's a hell of a lot closer Monday night if Taysom Hill's available, because of how many times the Saints got turned away on 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, goal to go in shorts. And that's that's Tay time, right? Like, that's Tay time. That's where you go, hey, we're giving it to 7. Good luck, right? Didn't have him, won't have him, which means the Saints have to roll out Jake Haener out of UNLV, ? I think I got that right. And Spencer Rattler is the backup. And Haener, now granted, was under assault for one of the best defenses in the league in Kansas City on Monday, but was 2 of 7 and running for his life in that game. And I'm going to say this. I actually like Jake Haener. And I think Jake Haener's got some tools in the toolkit that give him an opportunity down the line to be a good quarterback. I'm also going to say, behind an offensive line that is banged up and also slightly above average for the Saints, I need a quarterback that I can trust moving the pocket left and right. That's all Spencer Rattler did at South Carolina, was run away That's a Monty Python reference. I don't have any coconuts available, but if I did,
why not? We need to get some just for that reason.
just have a couple for the sake of talking about Spencer Rattler.
Why not?
Babe, I'm going to talk about Spence. I need my coconuts. I saw a dude on the internet the other day that called them coconuts, and that drove me up a wall.
Why?
Like, he didn't have an accent. Like, it was just a regular dude, but he said, yeah, I like coconuts. I hate it. I don't know why.
Do you not like Cocoa Puffs?
That's a different thing.
Cocoa Nuts.
It would be different. Just like if I said, you know what I had for breakfast this morning? Cocoa Puffs. You'd be like, no. That's not how that's said. They're not Cocoa Puffs, but it is coconut. All right? And also, they're not cocoa. So you can't be like, well, the word's cocoa. No. They're not cocoa. Cocoa's a whole different thing. That's a bean. Coconuts.
If you split the word up and just go with the first 4 letters, how would you say that?
Cocoa, but that's not how words work.
That's
not how words. Fine. Say the word TEAR. How do you say that word?
It depends on
how do you say that word?
Depends on the context of the sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's different.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Excellent contribution to the conversation.
No. That's not the same.
It's exactly the same.
It is not.
How you pronounce letters is 100%
Tear and
contextual.
tear are not the same as coconut.
Why?
Because it's not.
How is COCO not pronounced differently based on the context you're using? And by the way, cocoa is COCOA. If you want to get technical here, it's COCO, not a word unless it's somebody's name, like Auntie Coco. All right, that's what my nephew calls my wife, Auntie Coco.
Okay,
I totally let him. It's a great name. The point here is, if you say coconut,
I bet she loves that.
She does. She actually did. She actually taught him that, and he's like, I like it. I'm going for it.
Okay.
It's not coconut. Coconut. All right, coconut.
Why are you trying to sound Jamaican when you do that?
That's what that guy did. It's coconut.
Are you sure he's not from Jamaica?
Yes. He's a white dude from the Bronx.
So he's from the Bronx.
That's a podcast guy. It's what he does.
Okay.
Right? To the point that my initial thought, because I've been influenced too much by the great one, my initial thought is he's only saying that way to make me mad. And it worked.
It definitely seems to have worked, yes.
Can you do me a favor? Can you make me a Mai Tai extra coconut? No, I can't, sir. But I'll put some coconut in it. You psycho. Okay. Anyway, point here is
there's so much rage around this building. It's 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I'm heated today, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Yes. So Jake Haener likely going to get the start. Spencer Rattler will be in his back pocket as the backup, and I'm intrigued by this because if Jake Haener as QB1 comes out and has and again, we're playing Tampa Bay this weekend. All right, this to me, great one. This game makes or breaks the season. If the Saints lose to Tampa and they start 1-2 in the division, and what did that'd put us, assuming Tampa and Atlanta both win this weekend, a full 2.5 games back of both of those teams in the division. I honestly think, and I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Rob, there's a lot of football left," and there is. If the Saints are 2.5 games back with losses to Tampa and Atlanta to start the season, I think the season's over at that point. I think you can go ahead and pack the boxes and Robert Saleh, the New Orleans Saints season at that point. So
that's what you want. I mean,
I don't want my team to have their season end in week 6. I'm not a fan.
I'm not talking about the season. I'm talking about the coach being fired. You've mentioned that many, many times.
Okay, that's fair.
Does it bother you when other coaches are getting fired and the one who you think should be fired is not?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. In fact, I'm even at the point now where I'm like, you know what? I'm over games 1 and 2. I'm over. Carolina, Dallas, 41, 47 points. I'm over those games. Those games are irrelevant to me at this point. Okay. Dennis Allen has Dennis Allen'd this team. You know this team can score 40. They did it twice. And then Dennis Allen started being Dennis Allen again. Yeah, I hang it all on him. I would Robert Saleh, Dennis Allen for sure. But here's what I will say. I said going into the draft, and this was before the New Orleans Saints drafted him. I want to be very clear because I got a bunch of criticism after the draft when I came in here the next day. And I said, bango, I'm really happy with that draft pick. And we got him at like 130. What was it? 135 we drafted him at. I said, I think there's going to be a lot of teams that really regret that down the line. I think Spencer Rattler's the surprise of the draft. And, of course, we started getting texts and emails from people going, you would say that you get stuck up to the South Carolina fit. Guys, I said that before the Saints took him. I said, I think Spencer Rattler's steal of the draft. And, oh, by the way, I said it before Robert Griffin III said it. I've said it before Mel Kiper said it. Like all the draft dudes jumped immediately on Spencer Rattler as steal of the draft for the Saints. I said it a week before the draft started. That's a steal possibility. I kind of want them to go straight to him. Do I think he's going to come out and immediately burn it up as a rook? No, I don't. You know what I do think? I think the weapons are there. I do think the Saints need an upgraded receiver, which is, and by the way, if Derek Carr is going to be out for like 5 or 6 weeks, the Davante Adams things it's off the table. I already think it is. And I think part of the move by the Jets to fire Salah may have been to tempt Davante Adams, right? Like, look, your guy's got all the power here. Your guy is the GM here for us, Aaron Rodgers. So why don't you come to a place where the guy you want to play with, that Aaron Rodgers, you tell Aaron what you want, Aaron tells us what you want, you get what you want, right? But from what I understand, the reports are the Saints have been on the phone with Davante's people this whole time. Like, my man, you're the guy here, right? Like, you won Olave 2, everybody else 3, and your boy Derek Carr at the QB spot, Alvin Kamara, who's had a renaissance except for the Kansas City game. Look at this offense. Like, we'll make and we'll pay you. And we'll pay you. I think that's all well and good. I think that's absolutely a move. If they can grab that guy and they can bring that guy, Davante Adams, in, pair him up with Olave on one side, him on the other, Foster Moreau with the tight end, Alvin Kamara, Spencer Rattler's going to be exactly where I said Caleb Williams is. About as good of a rookie situation. No pressure on the cat, right? Nobody expects anything out of the Saints after taking 3 straight L's. Nobody expects anything out of this team. And certainly nobody expects a guy drafted at the 35th overall position to come in and be an immediate game changer. He has some time to develop a little bit. Speaking of developing a little bit, later on in the show, Kurt Warner was on a podcast yesterday, and they asked him about developing young quarterbacks, and he gave what I thought was a long but phenomenal answer, and we're going to break it up and listen to it a little bit later on in the show. Because I found it very interesting, and I think you can see the difference in some of the young quarterbacks and how Kurt Warner's ideas, suggestions, advice applied to them. I think Spencer Rattler could be in that group. This is a guy under Clint Kubiak that has no pressure and has some time to actually develop within the offense. Question mark is, do they go to him or do they give Jake Haener the nod and put Spencer Rattler in the 2 spot? I don't know. I will tell you personally, I'd love him to go to Spence. Realistically, they're going to start with Jake Haener. He's been the backup the whole time for a reason. I think they start with him. I also think Jake Haener is a dude that I like, but I think Spence can get him. I think Spencer can outperform him. So I'm real interested in that. Texter said, I yearn for the Rat Daddy. Already grabbed the Rat Daddy on waivers. I don't know how I feel about Rat Daddy as the nickname. I do know I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't know if I love it yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where it came from. I mean,
his last name's Rattler?
No. I'm just out of the blue. You decide to make a nickname, and I know the texter.
Oh,
did
okay.
it.
I was like, I didn't call him.
I'm talking about the texter. Just I mean, maybe it's a secret nickname that we didn't know about. I mean, he did play in the state. It's possible.
You know, I am. This may shock some of you. I am not adverse to frequently handing out a nickname on the fly and see if I can make it stick. I know. It's shocking. Lonzo's got 14 nicknames for me on this show. All right? I'm a fan of handing out nicknames and seeing what sticks. Rattler's his last name, you know? And hopefully he turns out to be a QB daddy.
The only nickname you've given me that's completely accurate is Colonel Grudge.
You gave yourself that one, for the record.
No, I don't. Did I?
Yeah,
okay.
You did. I think you started with something like you started with a title, something Major Grudge, something like that. And I was like, Colonel sounds good. You're promoted. I promoted you on the spot.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
that's the most accurate one.
I am pulling for Rat Daddy. Give me Rat Daddy this weekend.
Is that negative, though?
No.
I mean, you don't think Rat Daddy's kind of negative?
Listen, you know the context of the word daddy, right?
I'm aware,
Okay.
Yes.
It's a positive.
There are many different versions of daddy, but I know where you're going.
When you use this one as a nickname, it's only the one. All right? It's only the one. When we call a guy a yak daddy, that is the highest of compliments.
So it's not who's your daddy.
No, it's that kind of daddy. All right?
That's what.
Like if a man says who's your daddy and the other I'm just going to say the other person says you are, that's the highest of compliments. It's weird, all right? I'm going to say, ladies of the Rob Brown Armada, I love you all. I just want you to know, a lot of us think the daddy thing's very weird. Yeah. But I'm not here to judge, to each their own, 4-2. The point here is,
wow, way to catch that. I was gonna tell you that.
I know you are. I saw it. I just want to say that if you are such a baller on the floor, court, whatever, ice, whatever, that the dude fans call you a blank daddy, QB daddy, yak daddy, whatever, it's the highest of compliments. You understand where you are as a dude to refer to another dude as a yak daddy? So if Rat comes out and balls for New Orleans, Rat Daddy becomes the nickname, Texter, because of you. Because of you. He will become Spencer Rat Daddy Rattler. And I hope he does. You know what I would love? To have a Spencer Rattler come out and just be like, Jaden Daniels who? Jaden Daniels, look at this man. Look at this former Gamecock out there balling out for the New Orleans Saints. The door's open, Spence Rat Daddy Rattler. I'm in for it. See, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was going to call you the Sports Flash that, but I don't even have that in me. And if you nail this one, maybe next hour, Lonzo with the Sports Flash.
Yeah, I don't want to be anyone's daddy. New York Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh yesterday after the team opened the season with a record of 2-3. Owner Woody Johnson said the decision was his. Saleh had been with the Jets since 2021 and compiled a 20-36 record. That's not good. And was unable to end the Jets' 13-year playoff drought. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his fourth home run in 5 games as the San Diego Padres beat the LA Dodgers 6-5 and took a 2-1 lead in the National League Division Series yesterday. Game 4 of the series is tomorrow. And make sure you tune in this Friday at 7 as the Burns Rebels head to Gaffney to take on the Indians. It's Burns versus Gaffney right here on your home for Burns Rebels football. It is the Fan, upstate. All right, someone's making oatmeal. I should not be able to smell oatmeal, but I'm telling you it's oatmeal. By the way, fan of the oatmeal. And it's making me hungry, but it's definitely oatmeal. Or it's one of those you're about to have a stroke smells that people tell you about, brownies or burnt cookies or something. I don't know. That is definitely oatmeal. Good morning, Michael.
Emergency management channels, assisting the Red Cross, and coordinating ways to do whatever possible to give while dealing with tragic personal loss of their own.
Now it's starting to smell like popcorn. Maybe it's popcorn and oatmeal. There's a combination. Okay, I might be on the edge of aneurysm. I don't know. I hope not.
And now, with the No Scare medallions, my little ones are able to brave the haunted house experience. They talk about it all year long. Mad World is much more than a haunted house. It's a fall tradition like no other. Grab your tickets now at madworldattractions.com and get ready for family fun.
Have you lost weight in the past but gained it all back and more? Hi, this is Dr. Elliot Hirschhorn with New Life Weight Loss, and we
Okay, two things.
Losing weight and keeping it off long term.
Number one,
or surgery. New Life Weight
can the
Loss
Gladiator popcorn helmet be worn as an actual helmet? Because if so, I'm buying it on the spot. If that is an actual helmet, I'm wearing it.
It's the size. It looks like it's over top of the popcorn bucket. So
And those are big buckets. So
They
like
are.
maybe.
They are.
But the question is, does it come off the bucket or is it part of the bucket? If it comes off the bucket, I'm buying it. It'll be the first commemorative popcorn bucket I've ever bought.
Well, there's another one. I don't know if you've seen, but the Venom head.
Okay, maybe two, because I love Venom.
The Venom head, like the back of the
Yeah.
head goes, and you
Yeah.
go down, and I might be
Question
getting the
number
Venom
2.
head.
Do you smell popcorn right now?
It started out.
Okay,
It's
because
going
you
up.
sent me this, and as I was looking at it, I'm like, what in the hell is happening?
It started off smelling like oatmeal to me, and then it morphed
butter
in,
popcorn now, right?
morphed into popcorn. Yes.
Lonzo sent me for the Gladiator 2, they're making a popcorn bucket, commemorative popcorn bucket that is a Spartan helmet or a Gladiator helmet, I guess. And I really want it, except for as soon as he sent me this advertisement and I started looking at it, this studio immediately started smelling like buttered popcorn. It's uncanny. I was about to say the algorithm has advanced.
All right. Here's my guess. I'm guessing it's Tori.
I think that's does she come in this early?
Yeah, she's on Hawk and Tom.
Oh yeah, she does. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going, from past tense because I've been here almost 25 years, and they were here when I got here. Hawk and Tom were, and I don't recall them eating popcorn a lot, or Cato. I don't recall him eating popcorn in the morning either, because it's not just this studio that smells it; it's the Word studio also smells it. So I'm gonna go with her. I dare you to walk over there, walk in, and take a handful of popcorn and walk out.
I'm tempted to walk down there and see if that's what it is. And if it is, all of the people in that room are the nicest people. They are all the nicest people.
I don't know.
And I might be like, if y'all don't stop making buttered popcorn at 6:30 in the morning, we're going to have a problem.
Tom might say something to you.
I don't care. Fine, I'm going to start microwaving fish
I mean,
on your side of
it's
the building
okay
at
if they
6:30.
share with everybody.
Yeah,
I
or
mean,
bring enough for the class.
Yeah.
I am going to say, I don't think that there is anything in human history that has caused as many workplace disputes as microwaves. Okay? I don't think that anything, I don't think pen thieves, of which there is an epidemic.
I don't know. 1/4-inch thieves can be pretty.
Yeah, but that's a very exclusive,
It
but
is.
a couple
It
of
is.
industries that
Yeah,
have to worry
yeah.
about that. Like to the point that most people just went, "What?"
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
But the ones who know.
It's like 10mm socket thieves. There's a million of them, but like you're in a very particular industry. As far as every workplace everywhere goes, I don't think anything has ever caused as many workplace disputes as a microwave. Somebody in this building microwaved buttered popcorn during the break. And now, not only does Lonzo and my studio smell like buttered popcorn, now I am.
Wait. I don't smell like buttered popcorn.
No, I said the studio.
No, you said Lonzo and my studio.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And I don't,
Our studio smells like buttered popcorn, and I'm hungry. I'm not a breakfast guy. Despite being up at 3:30 in the morning, I'm not a breakfast guy.
So weird.
By 7 o'clock, I'm not hungry. But I'm also a late dinner guy. I'm like a 9 p.m. dinner guy. All right. So I'm usually still
if you
good
get up
from the
at
night before.
3:30, 7 o'clock's lunchtime, dude.
Not for me. I'm not hungry in the mornings. Doesn't matter if I get up at 3:30 in the morning or 11 in the morning. I'm not hungry in the AM, right? Except now I am. And all I want to do is crush a giant bucket of movie theater extra buttered popcorn because somebody in this building had the audacity to microwave buttered popcorn at 6:45 in the damn morning, to the point that Lonzo and I think we know who the responsible parties are. And I will say that First off, it's not who you guys probably think it is. And number two,
No, those guys don't eat popcorn in the morning.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, they don't.
And I'm going to say number two, the entities responsible might be, of all the shows, might be the nicest group of people in the building. And that's including Zoe and I, who are two of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Believe it or not, that is true.
Yeah. They might be the nicest group of people in this building as a group of people. And I'm about to walk down there and start a show v show rivalry because, and hear me out on this, stop. It's not lunchtime. All right. It's not lunchtime. For the love of everything sacred, who is microwaving popcorn at 6:45 in the morning? And making every one of your coworkers sit in the aroma of butter popcorn for like a while.
All right, so I'm texting Tim right now so we can eliminate him and eliminate that whole portion.
I don't think it's anybody on that station.
I don't either.
I don't think. I think you're right about the entities in question.
Yeah, but if anybody at Word right now were to make popcorn, it'd be
him for sure, but I don't think it's them. And I will also
he says he also smells it, but it was not him.
Oh, for sure. I could go in the parking lot and smell it.
It
smells like I'm in a popcorn
By
machine.
the way, it smells like heaven. So it's
a
not
wonderful
like
smell.
Yeah, it's not like it's a bad smell.
It's just not what I want to smell at 6:45 in the morning because now I'm hungry and I'm not leaving here until like 11:15 this morning. And I not just am hungry, but I'm specifically hungry for popcorn, which I don't have access to. Right? So I'm about to go down there and start a show v show dispute. If you SOBs don't stop microwaving popcorn at 6:45 in the morning, I'm about to be that guy who starts microwaving fish. Here's the problem. Zoe and I learned this when the AC went out in the middle of the summer this year. We are the very last studio connected to the AC, right? So when the AC cranks on, all the vents end in our studio, which means that any smell from any other room in the building comes here. We just get all of it, which I promise you, butter popcorn is like way high on the list of smells that have come through this vent that I want to smell. But not at 6:45.
Well, there are 4 live morning shows going on right now in the building. So we've eliminated 2 of them. We know it's not on Word. We know it's not here.
I think you're right about who exactly
I'm
it
pretty
is.
sure it is because I've been here a long time and I don't recall that being a staple in the morning from either of those 2 shows. And there's someone over there who's fairly new.
Yeah. I'm going to stealth mission during the
next
next break.
Maybe a couple years new, but still new comparatively to everyone who's in the building.
I am going to Assassin's Creed through the next break and find out if you're right.
Even if you have to just go in and look at the trash can, because by now,
I mean, sometimes in Assassin's Creed, you got to
rummage. Oh, no. You're not doing that. No.
Hey, it's 7:05 in the morning. You got 54 minutes and 20 seconds until you got to be to work. And if you got to go to work, you're going to talk about sports because let's be honest, that's the highlight of your day. And if you're going to talk about sports, you got to know what's going on in the world of sports. And if you got to know what's going on in the world of sports, you need this.
Are you ready for the playbook of the peculiar, the almanac of the absurd, and the encyclopedia of the extraordinary? Well, you better be, because we're diving headfirst into the 3 top stories that will have your coworkers saying,
"That doesn't work for me, brother."
Before they take their first pass.
Hi, guys!
No.
Here we go.
Welcome to the water cooler cheat sheet on the Fan Upstate.
It's the water cooler cheat sheet, the top 3 sports stories that you need to know before you get to the office and start talking sports. This lovely, I hope, Wednesday morning. Let's dive right in. Item numero 1. Found out yesterday, just minutes after the conclusion of the Rob Brown Show, which is on the air every weekday from 6 until 10 a.m., that the New York Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. He is the first coach to be canned in season since the Panthers relieved Matt Rule of his duties a couple of years ago. Robert Saleh, after a 2-3 start, was removed from the office. And when I say removed, I don't mean from his duties. I mean, they called up Big Mike, the security guard, and removed his ass from the facilities. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, released a statement saying that the decision was, quote, mine and mine alone, end quote. According to Peter Schrager of the NFL Network, Woody Johnson and his brother Christopher Johnson, he goes by Christopher. Christopher,
of course,
like the Sopranos.
He's got money.
The vice chairman broke the news to Salah in his office at the team facility. According to reports, Salah was shocked. He was escorted to his car by the director of, not just a security guard, the security guard walked him to his car. The Jets said that is protocol. That was not like a special thing. It was protocol. When an employee is terminated, they are brought to their car, which, okay, fine, whatever. I don't particularly, to be honest, care about that aspect of the story.
A lot of people do, though, because
Sure.
other if that was protocol, why didn't other coaches who were fired there get escorted out? And apparently he's been the only one.
So, again.
Wait, I got it. New protocol.
New protocol. It's protocol. You've never done it before. It's a new protocol. We call it the Salah protocol. Huh? Anyway, Salah had promised multiple championships when he was hired back in 2021. He has none of them so far. 20-36 record, 0 playoff appearances in the midst of a 13-year playoff drought, the longest active drought in the National Football League. But this team came into the season with Super Bowl aspirations after Aaron Rodgers came back from his injury, suffered 3 minutes into week 1 of last year for the Jets. Woody Johnson said he believes this to be the most talented team that the Jets have fielded in 25 years. I don't think that he is necessarily incorrect about that, but I also think the most talented team in 25 years for the Jets isn't a wildly talented team. It's not like they've been good and they were good a long time ago. They weren't exactly dynastic. I would just like to point out 25 years ago, like Tom Brady was about to come in the league, right? Like it's not that, like it sounds like a long time. It's really not. But they haven't been exceptional in that time span. Johnson, addressing the offense, said that, quote, I think one of the reasons I decided to making coaching change at the highest level is exactly that. We need to find ways to win, and we're not going to find those ways by doing the same thing over and over again, end quote. Look, man, like I go back to the Minnesota game. Defensively, the Jets did enough to win that game. If Aaron Rodgers probably has one fewer pick, they probably do win that game and become the first team to defeat the Vikings. I go back to the Denver game. Your team gave up 10 points. Your team gave up less than 190 yards of offense. Your team allowed their quarterback to throw for a grand total of 62 yards, whatever it was, in Bo Nix. This is part of the reason I think. I'm not saying the problem is because of Aaron Rodgers, but he's absolutely a part of it. You add on top of that the fact that during the 2.5 years he was the head coach, Salah started 6 quarterbacks. Zach Wilson, Mike White, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian, and Tim Boyle. And none of them have worked out. Not that Aaron Rodgers won't, but he hasn't yet. They're 2 and 3. Let's move on to item number 2. 2 playoff games in Major League Baseball last night. We opened up with an afternoon contest between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. The NL East rivalry in the NLDS continues. And yesterday, it was the Mets getting the better of the Phillies to take a 2-1 lead in that NLDS. 7-2, your final score. Aaron Nola, who has been remarkable for the Phillies this year, gave up 4 earned runs in 5 innings, did K8, but gave up a couple of dongs in that one, and was saddled with the Sean Manaea for the Mets. Exceptional outing. 7 innings, just 3 hits, 1 earned run, and K'd 6 before turning it over to Maitland Stanek to finish this thing off. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to shock, alarm, surprise any of you. The Mets are electrifying, man. I hate the Mets, with all due respect to my guy Jersey Joe over in the chat. Joe, love you. P1, you're the best of the best. I hate the Mets with the fire and passion of 1,000 suns.
Why?
Because they're the Mets.
Okay, just you don't like their uniforms?
No, they're just them, just the essence of the Mets. Come on, dude. There's a team you just don't like. Why? Because I don't like them.
I think I do have some reasons, though. I mean,
I have reasons. The Mets. That's what they're the Mets. I can't stand.
I mean, is it the uniforms? Did they beat your team?
No. Let me clarify. They're the Mets. That's my reason. They're the Mets. I don't like them. That being said, and I said this yesterday to a friend of the show, Joey B. As me, I despise the Mets. As a fan of the game of baseball who wants the best for the game of baseball, the Mets are electrifying. Now, let me talk about the other game, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Last night, Fernando Tatis Jr. goes yard again. Dong number 4 in game number 5 of the postseason. He becomes the second player in MLB history to have as many hits, runs, and RBIs as he does through the first 5 games of a postseason run. The Padres win 6-5 yesterday. Now, the game wouldn't have been that close if it wasn't for the fact that Teoscar Hernandez hit a granny shot in the 3rd inning. The Dodgers put up 6 in the 2nd. Teoscar helped them put up a 4-banger in the 3rd with a grand slam that made it a 1-run game. No one else would cross the dish the rest of the evening. And now the Padres find themselves up 2-1 in this series. And game 4 is in San Diego. I'm actually really excited about these 2 series. Why, you might ask? I'll tell you. Because Lonzo, you know how sometimes you get like a one-off little one-shot. We need some matches to fill the card at the next PLE. So sometimes you just kind of make up a rivalry on the fly. And you know how once in a blue moon, you get a heel versus heel matchup and everybody kind of picks their favorite heel and we're all like, it just ends up being a banger. It's that. I got on one hand the New York Mets, who are just obnoxious. They're just obnoxious at large. Their fans are obnoxious. Love you, Jersey Joe. You're a good person. Their fans are obnoxious. Their players are obnoxious. Their owner's obnoxious. The whole team's obnoxious. And more importantly, great one, it's not just that they're obnoxious. It's that they revel in their obnoxiousness. They know that they are obnoxious, and they take pride in said obnoxiousism. Then on the other hand, there's the Padres. The Padres went to L.A. I got Fernando Tatis Jr. in the outfield looking Dodgers fans in the eyes and hitting the hip thrust right at him. I got Profar out in right field robbing Mookie Betts of a dong and then trolling a television network to the point that they ran the home run graphics and it turns out he caught the ball the whole time. And then John Adam in the dugout. It's a heel v heel matchup. The NLCS, if these 2 teams and by the way, finishing off the 2 front runners in Philly and the Dodgers. The top 2 seeds are both in a 2-1 hole right now and about to get bounced. 2 plucky underdogs, and they're also heels who love to talk a bunch of to the opponent's fans. Inject it in my veins. NLCS is going to be lights out. Those 2 series will conclude. Well, I think both the Dodgers and the Mets are going to win that very, very quickly because we're going to talk about this coming up in a minute. Item number 3. The NCAA's Division I Council has voted to shorten the transfer portal window for FBS and FCS football as well as men's and women's basketball. That announcement came yesterday. The D1 Council reduced the total number of days players in the FBS and FCS levels can enter the portal. They had 45 days in total. Now they have 30. They will move forward with a 20-day transfer window from December 9th, the Monday after conference championship games, through December 28th, and a 10-day spring window from April 16th through 25th. The NCAA, FBS, and FCS oversight committees initially recommended eliminating the spring window, but because of the House antitrust settlement coming down, and the fact that that likely would have been pushed back against, they said, what if we just shorten both windows? And they did that. We will talk more about that and what that means when we come back here in just a minute from now. Rob, the Great One, Lonzo, and you. It's the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
QC.
All right, guys, one more live and we're back. Stay there for me, please, and thank you. It's Rob Brown. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you're not, I don't know why you're here, but I am glad that you are. Hey, do us a favor. Whether you're enjoying it or not, would you mind sharing us around your social media, please? And thank you, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I don't care. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it doesn't matter to me. Help us get the good word out. We're trying to get famous and rich, and we can't do it without your help. So, The Rob Brown Show is on all social media, or share the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, wherever you're watching this, and we'd appreciate it very much. Now, let's get back to the show. Stick around. The NCAA has elected to shorten the transfer portal window. It is now 30 days in total. It used to be 45. Now it is 30 days in total with a bonus window for any athlete who has a coaching change. If a head coach departs the school, the athletes at that school will receive an extra 30-day transfer window, opening the day after the departure of their head coach is announced. I don't particularly have an issue with this because I've got to say, one of the things that I would encourage young athletes to consider when considering a potential transfer out of a program, one of the things that I would say is take your time about this decision. Just because the window is 20 days in the winter and 10 days in the spring doesn't mean that you're only allowed to consider a transfer in those windows. If you're thinking about transferring, you should know. And you should have enough thought that this isn't a snap judgment or decision that you just make within that very short period of time. The second thing is, and this is something that I have for my, although not numerous, for my friends and colleagues who, like me, are pro-transfer portal, that believe students should have the right, as non-athlete students do, to make a decision of where is the best place to continue their, let's say, education, though for many it's also sporting career. There has to be some level of consideration for the schools as well. I am pro-transfer window. I am pro-transfer portal. But I also say that there does have to be some consideration for the schools as well. And if you have a D1 council comprised of athletic directors, school presidents, etc., that are saying it's better for us remember, they wanted to close the spring window entirely. They wanted one transfer window in the winter. And for basketball after the tournament in March. So one window for football and the other sports that would have opened after conference championship weekend. And then one window for basketball that would have opened after, I think it was after the semifinals of the basketball tournament it was going to open. It's either second round or semifinals. I can't remember off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. But instead, they decided we're going to keep the two windows. We're just going to shorten them both. The one in the fall goes from 30 days to 20. The one in the spring goes from 15 days down to 10. Now, I don't particularly care about this because I think by and large, if an athlete's going to transfer, because again, it is an adult decision. And with the adult decision comes adult responsibilities and, most importantly, adult consequences. I don't think a player, I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to. I'm saying I don't think a player should enter the portal just on a snap judgment. It should be something that should be considered, which, by the way, is why I am glad that they decided to make it a full 30-day window after a coaching change specifically, and kept that window open whenever that change is announced. So if a school decides to relieve a head coach of his coaching responsibilities after week 6 of a college football season, that window's open on day 6, day 1, or on week 6, day 1. And I think that's good. I think the players should be allowed the same opportunity to make a change that a school can make a change. If a school can make a change of a head coach anytime they want, then those players should be allowed to react to that change by going, nope, that's the guy I came here to play for. As I've said many, many times in the past, recruiting is comprised of 3 C's: coaching, cultures, and cash. And a lot of players go sign up to play for a coach. I was listening to a podcast segment yesterday, and they were talking about, I want to say it was Nebraska, Matt Rule's tenure. And they said that there is a guy who transferred there. I think he said it was a transfer. And this kid got hurt in one of the recent games for Nebraska. They did not name the player, but they said this kid got hurt. And they said the coach had been texting the kid's dad the last couple of days and going, okay, here's the results from his recent test. Here's our plan for the kid moving forward. Here are the things he's approved to do. Here's the way that we're attacking, letting him do those things while also focusing on the injury. Here's his school progress while he's going through this, yada, yada, yada. And the podcast host, I want to say it was a Nebraska guy, said that he talked to the kid's dad, and the kid's dad was like, I was blown away. I was blown away because no coach has treated him like this. No coach has treated me as his father like this. No coach has been as informative about our son's status with the team, with his injury rehabilitation, with his progress as an athlete, with his progress as a student. We love this. My kid loves this. I love this. We know we made a good decision to come here. If there's a kid out there, if there's a parent out there and a kid out there who hear a story like this about Matt Rule, and their decision to go play for Matt Rule is because the parent said, hey, we love the amount of attention that this coaching staff is giving to us as parents to update us about our kids' progress and yada, 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 and they decide to go play there. And then let's say Matt Rule starts next year 0-6 and they get canned. then I think it's fair if the school can make a snap decision to relieve the head coach, that a player has the right and a month to consider whether or not he wants to stay there. Because if that kid is there to play for Matt Rule and that kid goes, I don't want to play for anybody but Matt Rule, yeah, I think he should have the opportunity to roll out to a new school, just like Matt Rule's about to. So I'm glad they left that 30-day transfer window open. I'm fine with shortening the other windows, because I would tell every one of these college athletes, you better think about this decision, because there are consequences to this decision. There are consequences to your decision to transfer. There are consequences to your decision to leave. You may be enticed by another school to go to a place, and then you get there and you find out, yeah, no, they lied to you. They didn't plan on starting you. They just wanted a warm body on the depth chart. They needed a special teams ace. They lied to you about being a starting corner. They needed you to be a gunner on the punt team, and that's why they brought you there. Adult decisions have adult consequences. And so I'm good with the windows being shortened but left open for kids to have time to consider this decision, whether or not they wanted to go. Because that decision, I think, for most of them, probably should be made when the window's open. Pac fan Shoof, I think Shoof, S-H-U-F, Shuff.
That's more Shuff.
Pac fan Shuff. Pac fan Shoof.
Why would it be? There's no thingy over the U, so it would be Shuff.
There's no thingy over the U in Schuster, but that's just a U. Or does it need the E? I don't think Schuster has the E. It's just S-C-H-U-S-T-E-R. This is S-H-U-F. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Shuff.
This Pac fan said, just make it a job, and then the school can get rid of the player anytime. Again, adult decisions have adult consequences. One of the things that has been brought up many times as these antitrust lawsuits go through, and part of the reason that they left the spring window in play is a belief amongst the D1 Council that depending on the outcome of these 3 antitrust lawsuits that the NCAA is litigating their way through right now, the belief is that the result of them could have ended up in a situation where the players would have had the power, or the players' attorneys would have had the power to effectively sue the NCAA to reinstate the spring transfer window, and likely they would have won that as well. And so they just said, let's just leave it open but shorten both, and hopefully that is a preemptive compromise. And I think it's fair. But I've said a number of times, to me, school employment at this point is an inevitability. It's going to happen. Now, it's not me saying by this date, because I don't know. Could be next year, could be 5 years, could be a decade from now. But I do think players becoming employees is effectively inevitable at this point, because so many of the legal discussions that are taking place, in my opinion, can be solved one way and one way only: collective bargaining. But see, here's the thing. You can't collectively bargain with just one entity. And right now, the players are not, air quote, collectively one entity. They are a billion entities, as every athlete is their own at this point. How do you fix that? How do you make them one entity? There's only one way to do it. You allow them to unionize. You allow them to unionize, to discuss how they want their union to operate, to work. And then that union speaks on behalf of the players. So that union comes to the table with the NCAA as a representative entity. And now they can negotiate with the NCAA. They can negotiate on behalf of the players as a whole. And now you can start having discussions, because what's one of the big things that's thrown away? Top of my head, salary cap, NIL cap, right? We want an NIL schools. We want an NIL cap. Well, you're only going to get away with that if the players agree to one. And for the players to agree to one, they've got to be allowed to unionize. And they can only unionize if they are employees and have employee status. And to me, all of this circles back around. We've said it a million times. All of this circles back around to the NCAA had the opportunity when NIL came down the pipe to lay down some guidelines, or as they love to say, guardrails. Put down the guardrails, put down the protocols, and then we can negotiate whether we want to move them in or out down the line. But they didn't do that. They created chaos, and now they're trying to rein the chaos in. And anybody with multiple small children can tell you reining in chaos is not easy when all of them are pinging off of different walls at different places at different speeds. And that's effectively what you have. When we come back, Shane Beamer had some comments on the Dylan Stewart penalty this weekend. I'm going to play them for you, and then we will address them next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Donovan, welcome back, brother. Good to have you, man. Where the hell you been, pal? Too busy for us. I get it.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's storm related.
Yeah, but that doesn't give them a guilt trip unnecessarily, you know? All right, guys, I got to record some audio. I'm going to step away for a minute and a half. We'll be right back. The Rob Brown Show continues. It's the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And the South Carolina Gamecocks loss to the Ole Miss Running Rebels, nay, but a few days ago. Down by many points. Dylan Stewart, defensive end for the Gamecocks, recorded a sack. And when he stood up over Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, he proceeded to simulate firing an automatic rifle at the quarterback while still laying on the ground. The quarterback laying on the ground, not Dylan Stewart, obviously. Well, there has been, understandably so, a lot of critique and criticism about the celebration, about what was perceived to be a lack of discipline over it, et cetera, et cetera. Shane Beamer yesterday, to me, allowed a little bit of frustration to show. I'm going to play you this audio, and then we're going to react to it. Lonzo, have you heard this audio from Shane aside from me playing it screened a minute ago?
Just a little bit that you were doing there. That was
wonderful. We're going to get Lonzo's knee-jerk reaction. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I want yours. Here is Shane Beamer responding to that situation.
Dylan Stewart feels awful about that play. Dylan Stewart's a really good kid. And Dylan Stewart's mom feels awful about that play. And she was obviously very emotional after the game. And I know all the social media angels that have never done anything wrong want me to just tar and feather him out there in the middle of 5 points for his mistake. Doesn't quite work that way. Was he held accountable in this building? Yes. Was there punishment within this building for what he did? Yes. But we care about Dylan. We love Dylan, and we got Dylan's back too. A lot of people don't, but the people in this building have his back, and he knows he needs to be better, and it was unacceptable without a doubt. But he's a young kid that got caught up in the emotions. There's a lot. I'm not excusing it at all. There's a lot of things that built up before that play. Some back and forth that started in the first quarter. And in the end, he let his emotions get the best of him and did something he can't do. And, we try and educate him and also realize he's a, 18-year-old young man, and he's ours, and it's our job to help him just like a parent would do with a child. When a child makes a mistake in a lot of ways, but certainly we've talked about as a team, though, that there's a right way and there's a way that we want to handle ourselves on the field and the class that we want to play with. And if something repeatedly happens, then there's something you have the decisions to make. But, we feel good about how we've handled that situation.
What's your gut reaction to that? Great one. Anything jump off the page at you?
First of all, I think he came at social media a little bit, and which doesn't bother me. And the other thing is the fact that he said that he had been punished for it. I mean, okay, let's move on.
I will start.
He also did say that it was childish what he did. And
sure.
I mean, without saying it, how you have to correct a child. I think that was pretty much saying, hey, that was childish. He won't do that again.
I agree. There's a couple of things. I will say this. One of the criticisms of Shane Beamer over the past couple of years has been the feeling that, and I will go on the record before I say this and say I don't agree with it, but the feeling that Shane emotionally reacts to criticism, to critique. This is a job that is going to inevitably come with a ton of criticism and critique. And it feels like, and this, I'm not saying this is even wrong. It's just a critique of Shane Beamer, that he takes things very personally and he reacts to them as if he has taken them personally.
Well, there are some people that are so grating the way they come at you that you can't help but respond.
In a situation in which you are in a place like Shane Beamer is, you better learn how to help. You better learn. It's kind of like you and I. If I go out to a bar and someone says something to me a certain way, I have to recognize and realize that if I haul off and punch this guy in the teeth and knock him out, it's on the news. I'm never in the local news. But you damn sure better believe that some young intrepid reporter is going to go, local radio host punches man in the face. Like, it's when you're in a role with the public awareness of a guy like Shane Beamer, you better learn how to handle criticism. Now, with that being said, the only real issue I have here is at the very beginning of the comments, the social media angels take. And I'm gonna draw it to what he said at the end. The way a parent has to educate a child when they make a mistake. It is one thing for and I'll even use his example. Shane, we'll come to where you are right now. I'm good with that because I like Shane. I'll come to where he's at for this conversation. It is one thing if a child makes a mistake. You come home and your kid is colored on the wall with a marker. Now,
or in my case, paint.
Or paint. You come home and your kid's colored on the wall with something. You might look at that and be real mad, but that's because you know what they did is bad. If this has never been a thing before, you got to go, he doesn't know better. That's one thing. It's another thing when 3 of your 4 kids have all colored on the wall, have all been admonished, have all been taught better, have all been disciplined, and now kid number 4 colors on the wall for the 4th time. That kid knows better by now. They have been educated multiple times at this point. As I have said to you guys in this show this week, the brandishing a weapon penalty, as it is being officially labeled, has been called 100% of the time so far this year. You have to know better. 5 kids have colored on the wall and got in trouble already. This is not, and this takes me to point number 2. The critique, Shano, the criticism here is not that we want Dylan Stewart strung up by his toes at 5 points. That's not what we've been talking about. The criticism here is that you've got a team with at least a kid on it who in that moment, in that situation, didn't have the discipline to know you can't do that. My man, you were down 4 touchdowns in this game. And it's not to say it's a game you can't come back in, but it is a game that if you are going to come back in, it is going to be a slog of a comeback. It is going to be a big effort to come back out of the hole that you're dug in. So 15-yard stupid penalties. I'm going to go full Randy Orton on that one. Stupid. When your team's committing these infractions, you're digging yourself a deeper and deeper hole in that spot. The criticism isn't, oh, Dylan Stewart needs, okay, it is from some people, but at least from me. The criticism isn't that I think you should run Dylan Stewart out of town. The criticism isn't that I think he should be ejected from the football program. No, quite the opposite. I also understand that he's a kid and he did a dumb thing caught up in the emotion of the moment. And Shane goes, there was a lot of things happening that started in the first quarter that led up to that. Look, go back to the beginning of the show. I took one joke too far because I was caught up in how funny I thought I was at the moment. And I'm 40. All right? Dumb people do dumb things.
You really shouldn't draw attention to that. That was bad.
Yeah, one step too far, but that's okay. It made me laugh, and that's all I care about. The point here is,
thanks for caring about the team there.
The point here is the criticism, at least from this show, isn't that I want my man kicked off the program. No, he's a kid, and kids do kid things. They do dumb things, and kids do dumb things and say dumb things and act dumb ways, especially when they're part of that's trendy. That's cool. That's what's happening right now. It's not shocking that in a year where I've got 5 other games where somebody has brandished a weapon imaginatively and been penalized for it. Yeah, that's the trend right now. Just like 2 seasons ago, the trend was hitting the gritty in the end zone. And everybody, Justin Jefferson's hitting the gritty. Everybody's hitting the gritty. It just happens to be that this one is one that's a little uncomfortable for people in the current political climate that which we all live. So, my thought here is, I think Shane is off the point. And maybe that is the point. Maybe it's if I can take the conversation over here, I can get it away from over here. Because I think, hey, coach, it kind of feels like your team lacks discipline right now. I actually think that's a valid criticism. Okay? I that was what I opened the show with on Monday. I think your team lacks discipline. Your team's not dialed in. And I base that on the fact that you had the extra week, the bye week, and the rest week to get ready for Ole Miss, and your team looked completely lost. Not just your team, your coaching staff and your football players looked lost. They looked out of sorts. You got your asses whipped. Whipped, as John Goodman might say. When your game after a bye week looks like that, I think the criticism of your team looks undisciplined is warranted. Now, Lonzo's riding out optimism. I want to. That LSU, Kentucky were really South Carolina. This was just a one-off performance. And we'll find out. Can you make it even look competitive against Alabama this weekend? No, because Alabama just lost to Vanderbilt. They are going to make an example out of you. I am terribly sorry to inform you. But do you go out there and at least execute your plays? Do you at least fight? Do you walk off the field on Saturday knowing that Rob Brown's going to get on the radio Monday and go, you got clobbered because they're a bunch of thoroughbreds. You got clobbered because they're just better than you are. You executed. The game plan was sound. Your boys were doing all they could. But at the end of the day, Alabama's just got the hosses and you ain't. You're working towards it, but you ain't. Because that's what needs to be. That's what the team needs to focus on right now. At least go execute in a way that when we come back in here on Monday and we go, you got your butts whooped. It's not because they outplayed you. It's just because they're just better than you are. Because they are. Respectfully, they're just better than you. They're better than just about everybody. That's why the Vandy upset is, Zoe, I'm going to say the most shocking result in a college football game since
App State, Michigan.
App State, Michigan.
For sure.
Yeah. The most shocking individual college football score since App State, Michigan. You can add Vandy, Bama to that list of, I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when this upset happened. I do. I was sitting on a couch in my living room, and I stopped watching what I was watching to flip it to Vandy, Alabama, to watch the end of that game. It was that shocking. So, Shane, the criticism is not, oh, we want Dylan Stark. I'm sure it is from some people, because that's a take that's going to get you a reaction. And some people do. I'm not doing this show for a reaction. I never have. My criticism is that is an example. That is the example of the fact that on Saturday, after a bye week, a long week, time to prep, time to game plan, time to get ready, time to watch tape, time to get healthy, your team looked bad. I don't know if you want me to dress that up for you a little bit. And number two, and this is the part where I did kind of go, don't like that. Oh, you social media angels who have never done anything wrong. Do you understand there's as I say about everything, these things exist on a spectrum. Have I done things wrong? Yeah. Many. Do you understand the difference between I've never done this. Rob accidentally said a dirty word on the radio versus Rob went on the radio and said, you son of a, like, you see there's a difference. Those are two differing in quality of crime, right?
Yeah, that's how you speak to me before
right.
the
I
show
keep that in the
meeting.
office, like an adult.
Yeah, like when you're talking about all the mistakes I make before we go on the air. Yeah.
Lonzo, stop talking without turning your microphone on, you. Right, that's what the Fortress of Nerditude for.
And then once you get a tear out of me, then we're done.
Right.
So, okay.
You understand there's a difference between Rob accidentally said a dirty word on the radio versus Rob came in here and reenacted a George Carlin skit. There's a variance in egregiousness, right? It's one thing if a dude scores a tutty and, flips the ball into an opponent's face and gets a 15-yarder versus rolls over him, gets up and pretends to execute him when you know that is a point of emphasis call this year. He lost his head. Now, again, I'm not really super concerned about it. My man just did what is popular to do right now, and he's a kid. Newsflash, kids, and most of you, do popular things. Even if the popular thing is dumb. I used to wear JNCOs. As a 40-year-old dude, I'm like, that's the dumbest pair of pants ever made. There is no good reason for JNCOs. I have a soft spot in my heart for them.
Now, parachute pants, that's a totally different thing.
Correct. But JNCOs, no point for JNCOs. And if you don't know what a JNCO is, all right, you're late for class if you don't know what a JNCO is, all right? There was no point to it, but I wore the hell out of some JNCOs. Why? Because I was in with the trends, and I was young and dumb. I don't care that the kid did a young and dumb thing. What I care about is that he did a young and dumb thing that is against the rules, that is getting flagged 100% of the time, and did it in a moment where he could have built some momentum for the team. If that sack stands and that goes that way, that's a big loss. They're now facing second or third, whatever it was, and forever. You got a chance to not just get the ball, but to flip the field in the process, and instead you went, no, here's a free first down you didn't earn, 15 yards further down the field than you were, and they go on and that's the problem, Shane. It's the fact that your team came out after a bye week looking undisciplined. They did not execute and making dumb decisions in the heat of the moment. This isn't about running Dylan out of town. I don't want Dylan run out of town. He's a hell of a ball player, and he made a stupid kid mistake. The problem is he made a stupid kid mistake in a spot where mistakes, if they're up 35 points, I don't give a darn about this. I don't care. I go, it's getting flagged, but you're up 35. What are you going to do? What I care about is that in the spot you did it, you had a chance to build some momentum, and your player lost his mind in that spot. Can't do that. That's the mark of an undisciplined team. That's what people are upset about, Shano. 844-326-3663, 844-FANFONE. That's the renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas fan phone. Gamecock fans, you've heard my take. I want yours. 844-326-3663. Am I off the mark, spot on the mark? Your thoughts are welcome after Lonzo sensuously reads this sports flash.
How you doing, girl?
Yeah!
The New York Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh yesterday after the team opened the season with a record of 2-3. Owner Woody Johnson said the decision was his. Saleh had been with the Jets since 2021 and compiled a 20-36 record. That's bad. And was unable to end the Jets' 13-year playoff drought, which you can't if you have a record like that. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his fourth home run in 5 games as the San Diego Padres beat the LA Dodgers 6-5 and took a 2-1 lead in the National League Division Series. Game 4 of the series is Thursday. The New York Mets beat the Phillies 7-2 last night to take a 2-1 lead in their NL Division series. Tune in this Saturday at 12:30 as Furman Paladins take on the Chattanooga Mocs. It's Furman versus Chattanooga right here on your home for Paladins football. Also Paladins football. It is The Fan, upstate. Whatever they were, Jacob, they're apparently cool. I was never cool, so I don't know. And plus, I'm old, so whatever trends Rob was into, I was like probably 25 at the time. So. I was wearing an apron working at a grocery store, and no matter what, pants or shirts you wear, when you're wearing an apron working at a grocery store, you're still not going to look cool. You're just not. I understand the purpose of the aprons, especially if you work in like the produce department, but everywhere else, I mean, yeah, you get a little dirty from dust and stuff, but it's just to make you look as uncool as they possibly can. Or if you work in a deli, because you're working around food and that, I guess that makes sense. But still.
Years ago, who could have predicted what could happen? Streaming video, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability.
I think he's explained what those are before, and I've already forgotten. So, I mean, just.
Oh, Jenkos? Yeah, they're the big elephant ear jeans.
Elephant ear? Jinko spell with a J or a G?
J. Gene Company.
I don't believe anyone actually wore those. Yeah, I just don't. I don't.
I wore them for about a month and a half, and my dad came to me one day.
I was gonna say, yeah.
My dad came to me one day. He's like, "You have to stop wearing those," and I was like, "No, like they're cool. They were trendy. It was kind of like this was kind of in the rebellious days of one Rob Brown, where I was kind of breaking out of the sheltered Irish Catholic kid."
Has that ever ended? Because I would like
No.
to think no.
No,
yeah.
probably more. I'm probably worse now than I ever was before. But the Jinkos were that was my way of showing to the world I was in my rebellious days. And my dad was like, "You're embarrassing me. You have to stop wearing them." And I was like, "No," because my family always did allow me to kind of wear what I want and express myself. And I was always like within lines of acceptability. So anyway, my dad, I remember this conversation very vividly for some reason. My dad said, "I've never done this before, and it makes me feel like a failure as a dad. I will buy you a Nintendo 64 if you will give me those jeans and never wear them again." And I took him up on that deal. So he went straight to the store, bought me an N64, and I had to hand him my Jinkos, both pairs of them. I had a black pair and a traditional denim pair. I had to hand him both pair of my Jinkos, and he handed me an N64 brand new out of the box to stop wearing them forever.
Definitely went that way at my house.
I won that trade.
You did.
I won that trade. We had so many GoldenEye parties after that.
I would have said, "I'm not gonna," and that's as far as I would have got. I would have been beat around the head and the neck for sure.
Hour number 3 of the Rob Brown Radio program continues. Rob, the great one, Lonzo, with you. It is Wednesday. The sun rises over a beautiful part of the country here in upstate South Carolina, but also welcome to all of you listening around the world for free on the Odyssey app. It's great to have you. We got a lot we need to get to as we roll through the show, but it's 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock on the dot, we do the audio blitz, our favorite audio that we have picked up over the last 24 hours from various sources around the world. Let's jump right in and get to some of this. Diego, you wait, please. Diego Pavia was talking to Rich Eisen after Vanderbilt. He is the QB1 for the Doors, knocked off Alabama this weekend. Rich Eisen asked, no, it wasn't Rich Eisen, pardon me. It was Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick on the Dan Patrick Show, talking to Diego Pavia. He said, was there any extra juice? Was there anything that kind of drove you to succeed in this game?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, I go out there as a captain, we go out there, coin toss. They were talking crazy.
Like what?
Like they thought they were gonna come in here and treat us like we were an FCS team. And we're like, what? Like, what do you must not know, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we're gonna see. That's why I kept telling them, like, all right, we're gonna see. And they're laughing, talking, like, I can't say it on the show because I can't curse, but yeah, they were talking crazy. So when they said, we're taking the ball, they're kicking off, we didn't even shake their hands after. We just took off to the sideline.
Diego Pavia, Lonzo's dream host.
I can't say it on the show because I can't curse.
What's wrong with that?
I respect that.
Because you can be creative without having to delve into certain areas.
Gosh darn it! I was so freaking mad at their butts.
You don't need expletives of any kind, whether they're softcore or hardcore. I mean, you can just go without an expletive.
Words are words. There's some intensity behind it.
I can't say it on the show because I can't curse.
But I like it. I like that Vandy. I like under Clark Lee. I like that this team has got a little gas to it. I like that this team's got a little edge to it. They were like, oh, you want to talk? Fine. We ain't shaking your hands. You're going to be disrespectful on our field. We're going to send you home embarrassed. Now, this very rarely happens, which is why we talk about it so often. But I am officially a Vanderbilt Commodore fan. I'm officially a Diego Pavia fan. Remember, he's the one after the game that, because he was on the field in Cookhurst, said Vanderbilt is turned. All in. All in. Love this kid. Love Clark Lee. Love this school. I'm a Doors guy now. He said, you want to chirp, you want to be disrespectful on our field. That is fine. We'll send you home with a little memory.
Do they play anybody else of that supposed caliber the rest of the season?
I mean, who else is of that caliber? Georgia? Ohio State, and Texas.
I'm just talking about SEC right now.
So it'd be
Georgia, and Texas. Do they play Georgia and Texas?
Vanderbilt has remaining coming up on their schedule a contest against Kentucky on the road, Ball State at home. Then they are at home against number 1. Could you imagine if they took Texas down? Would that not be the most incredible story? Of course, Texas is very on guard now. They're not going to come into this with the same attitude Bama did. Auburn, South Carolina, number 13 LSU, and number 8 Tennessee. I want to say they're getting one more. Give me one more ranked win for the Doors.
I'm gonna go Tennessee. I'm just gonna say they're gonna take down Tennessee.
Diego Pavia.
If they were to beat Texas, for one thing, I'd be really happy for other reasons. But still,
most incredible season in Vanderbilt history. It might already be.
No, if they beat Texas, would Vanderbilt be number 1?
Just give them the title.
No,
now.
that would be the sign that the end is near. I would think we would look out and see extra moons in the sky and all that kind of stuff. It's over.
Vanderbilt's good. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Hey, Cam Newton. You know Cam. You guys have heard of Cam Newton, right? Used to play for Auburn.
Also the greatest quarterback to ever play for the Carolina Panthers. So far. Don't worry. Andy Dalton's right here. Anyway, Jaden Daniels is a quarterback for the Washington Commanders. He's a rook, and he's having a real good year. Cam Newton had some advice for young Jaden Daniels.
Dear Jaden Daniels, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Trust me, it's a trap. Whatever the you've been doing, keep doing. Don't listen to how they build you up. Lock the in and keep playing your ass off. That's the only thing that I will be able to tell him right now. Ooh, I want to buy into I'm the rookie of the week. Oh, man, I'm the rookie of the month. Oh, man, we good. No! People forget about this. How did we first come about knowing who Dak Prescott was?
Was it off an injury?
Of Tony Romo.
Tony Romo, yeah.
They build him up. Oh, man, Dak Prescott is a rookie. But understand, this is the big leagues now. The same way that they build Dak up. Oh, man, he's still on his rookie contract. Pay the man, pay the man, pay the man. Now, Dak ain't
Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't have paid him.
You see what I'm saying? So understand this. Jaden Daniels, bro, you're playing great football. Do not buy into the hype, bro. This is a long season. This is just the completion of the first quarter of the season. You really got 3 more quarters on top of overtime, if you're lucky. But I'm going to tell you, like your girl tell you, can you keep it up?
Come on.
I need you to know I am now an avid Cam Newton podcast listener. For multiple reasons. Number one, there's a little animosity in Cam. You can tell. There's a little animosity in Cam Newton. Number two, that's a great take. That's a real good take. Keep it on the level. Don't buy into the hype. Don't let them build you up, Buttercup, just to let you down, because he is not wrong. NFL people, and I'm talking NFL media, I'm talking NFL fans. Boy, there is not much that NFL people like to do more than turn on a dude that they were in the back pocket of. And he's spot on about Dak Prescott. When Dak showed up and took over for Tony Romo, Dak was a darling. Now, every time Dak gets discussed on the air, it's just, how much longer can the Cowboys do this? How long can they tolerate this guy? How long can they this? How long they can that? And I honestly believe, as much as he says it ain't true, I believe there is a little part of Dak that hears all that, and it wears on him just a little bit. I honestly, I think this was a phenomenal take from Cam Newton, although he did go the opposite of Diego Pavia.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be Quentin Tarantino to get your point across. I mean, you can dial that back and appeal to everyone.
See,
not just a certain audience, but as long as you have an audience, even if it is just a certain audience, I guess that works in the podcast world.
I mean, Pat McAfee's making $126 million a year. At the end of the day, I think we've kind of hit a point where it's like, yeah, if your preference is no language, that's fine. It's not the show for you. Like this whole, you need to appeal to everybody. I don't. I know that for a fact. And therefore, unfortunately for you, I'm dragging you down with me. You technically don't, because the show don't appeal to everybody. I've never said anything to the contrary.
Well, here's the thing. There are some people who listen to this show for me and not you, and listen to you
with great hatred
for you and not me. I mean, that's how that works. That's why it's good that we are not the same on some things.
Sure. Words don't bother me. They don't. They just don't bother me.
All right.
I don't care.
Say all those words you're not supposed to say.
No, I didn't say I'm allowed to say them. I said they don't bother me.
Right.
I'll go out in the hallway with you and say them right now. I'm not going to say them on the air because I like my job.
I prefer you did.
But I will also tell you that one of the things that I have pitched in the past, and I hope one day to get the permission from the powers that be, I have pitched for years the opportunity to do like once or twice a week a Rob After Dark podcast where I do get to just unfiltered.
Well,
because I don't have a problem with
that's been done down the hall, and when it's done down the hall, then you can't. I mean, it's exclusivity.
Yeah, but this is me. This is me.
Yeah, but it's exclusivity, so you're never going to get that.
All right, let's get to another one. I like this one a lot, and we're going to do more about this coming up in a minute because I said something to Lonzo this morning that made Lonzo spin in his chair and look at me. CJ Stroud was on the Pat McAfee podcast yesterday, and Pat. Of course, the Texans beat the Colts not terribly long ago. And CJ Stroud was ice cold in this game. I mean, looked like a stud. Pat asked him a question, and not only did CJ give a phenomenal answer, but he also kind of dunked on Pat McAfee a little bit, and I loved it.
3rd and 11, fourth quarter, we were charging back. That ball right there, okay? Hey, listen. That can't be happening against Indianapolis anymore. You hear me? That's one of the nicest throws of all time. And you say, like, I have to remind people this is regular. Is there throws or is there moments in games where after something happens, you go, damn, I can't believe that happened? Is that happening still to you, or is everything legitimately expected at this point? That should have been picked off, batted down, and too far out of bounds. Instead, you thread 2 needles, and then you make a first down to win the game pretty much in Indianapolis. It's like, this is just what this guy does. Is there anything that surprises you anymore, or do you have full confidence in everything you're doing?
I would say I have full confidence. I'm very humble at the same time, but I know what I can do on the field. I know that there's no defense for the perfect throw. So it's just, you got to just be able to focus in those moments. I seen you and Tyrese over there going crazy. So, I had to hush y'all boys. I was trying to look at y'all after. I think y'all left. Y'all beat the traffic.
Okay. All right.
Whoa. Not true.
Whoa. Just tight streets down there.
I was trying to find you.
Yeah, there was this thing going on. There was a meet and greet. It was
had that meeting.
Yeah, there was a thing going on. Don't you worry about it. Seems like every time you come, those meetings come a little bit sooner every single time.
Called out Indianapolis Colts legend Pat McAfee for bailing on the Colts early, just on his own podcast on national television. Was like, yo, I threw that pass and I looked for you, Pat McAfee, and you bailed out early. And McAfee was like, oh no. Yep. Incredible work. I got to tell you, and we're going to talk about this coming up in a minute. We might do it next segment. There were like 2 or 3 other clips from that I'm like, damn, I like CJ Stroud a lot. I like this guy a lot. So we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a minute. Jazz Chisholm plays for the New York Yankees. They lost to the Kansas City Royals in Game 2. This game is now, or the series is now tied at 1 game apiece with Game 3 tonight.
Jazz really his name?
Jazz is, well, it's his nickname, but
okay.
It's his, like it's,
okay.
They just call it, it's just Jazz now.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Jazz Chisholm was asked about losing Game 2, and he said this.
How different does the series feel now after Game 2 compared to after Game 1?
Still feels the same that we're going to win it, I don't feel like anybody feels any different, We're going to go out there and do our thing still. We still don't feel like any team is better than us. Like you said, we had a lot of missed opportunities tonight, so they just got lucky.
They just got lucky.
Yeah!
I was thinking about this last night when I was putting this whole thing together when I heard that. And I'm like, whew. Because there is, when it comes to heels, Lonzo and I bring everything back to pro wrestling because pro wrestling is the ultimate art form. All right. It's just the greatest art form there is. There's 2 kinds of heels. there's the dirtbag heel, and then there's the heel that you're like, I'm kind of on board with this guy, right? Like right now, we got the story with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens right now. I'm team KO because everything he's saying about Cody Rhodes is correct entirely.
I just want to say that I'm with you. I'm also team KO.
Yeah. Everything he's saying about the good guy, he's right. Right? What have I always said about bad guys in movies and wrestling? You know who the best bad guys are? The bad guys who have a point. All right? Now, this is fun to me. The Padres are over here facing off with the LA Dodgers, and they're the bad guys in this series. They're hitting the full DX out in the outfield, the Dodgers fans. They're jawing at the fans a little bit. They're out here robbing.
Down with that. We got 2 words for you.
Exactly. They're dropping the full DX on him. And I'm all in. Why am I all in, though? You know why I'm all in? Joe B put it this way last night. He put it spot on correct. The Padres and the Mets are the DX to the authority of the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's why I'm on board. I can't stand the Mets.
America.
But there's a little soft part of me that's pulling for the Mets because I want to see them as the full fun and we embrace it bad guys.
Wait. After yesterday and the big deal you made about me saying I root for this and then you just did that.
No. Don't get me wrong.
You like forgetting yesterday?
Let me be clear. I also want to see them lose to the Padres in the NLCS because the Padres aren't my rivals. The Mets are. Hate the Mets. I just want to see a Padres-Mets NLCS because I think that would be great for baseball.
We all heard that. We all heard it.
And on top of that, the Mets ain't my Michigan to your Ohio State.
It's too late.
No, it's not because it's a different thing.
I listen to the show. I mean,
I don't ever. So to me, there's also the Royals. The Royals are, the Royals are Daniel Bryan in the lead up to WrestleMania.
They are the greatest baseball team of all time and the greatest baseball team playing today.
Oh, hi, Mark. As Tommy would say.
Look at what time it is too. It's about time that he rolls right.
I am team Royals because I hate. You know who the Yankees are? The Dodgers are the corporation. They're the corporation. They're the bad guys who are actually the bad guys who just happen to be up against another bad guy here. I am team Padres. I am team Royals because of things like if Manny Machado came out after the Dodgers won and said they got lucky, I'd be like, hell yeah, get him, Manny. If Fernando Tatis Jr. came out and said they got lucky to win game 2, I'd be like, fist up, let's go. But when the Yankees say it, I'm like, screw you guys. You're the worst. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. All right, let's get, I don't know. How do we feel about this one? Brian the Boz Bosworth, when asked about being teamed up with Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers in Fansville.
Because they didn't tell me Quinn was my deputy until we got to the set. And I said, so who's the guy? Because every year, the last 3 years, they brought a new guy on. And they didn't tell me this year, probably because I would say, no, hell no, I'm not doing that. But when they said it's Quinn Ewers and he wants to meet me, I said, all right. Tell him I'm outside his trailer, and when he walks out, tell him don't look anywhere but straight ahead, and I'll be coming from one side or the other, but I won't let him know. He'll hear me. But we had fun together. It was a great opportunity. He's a great kid, great competitor. But yeah, and it took all I could to, be nice to him for the first few minutes, and then I realized, man, he's too nice a kid not to be nice. He's like every other athlete. They all have great passion and they all have a great desire to be great at what they do. They wouldn't put the work in if they didn't. But, I just wish he was wearing crimson and cream, not burnt orange. Who wants to wear burnt orange? There's nothing in the closet that goes with anything orange, burnt or otherwise. I don't own anything orange in my house. So I don't know why anybody would wear burnt orange.
Never graduate. Keep that rivalry flame burning brightly as long as you can. Love the Boss.
I already loved them, but the whole take on orange for me, whatever shade of orange, I'm down with that.
The Boss. Never bleeping graduate. Incredible. Well done.
And there are probably some people who don't realize who he is. It took a while for me to realize that that's that's the boss, and it's
the boss
because it don't look like him.
Noted action movie star Brian the Boss Bosworth, and also played a little college football back in the day.
Just a little bit. NFL was not good for him.
Action movie star after his college football career. Went straight out of Oklahoma, straight to the silver screen, did the boss. No stops in between anywhere else at all.
Like not in Seattle?
Not, no,
Okay,
never anywhere else. College football megastar, Hollywood A-lister, and no stops in between at all that we talk about. When we come back, you know who else made the rounds on social media yesterday? Lonzo, I'm very sad I forgot my shades today because we're doing a Connor Stallions segment. I know. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
New life.
All right, guys, quick live, and we're coming back. Stay right there for me. Thank you. It's Rob Brown. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you're not, I don't know why you're here, but I am glad that you are. Hey, do us a favor. Whether you're enjoying it or not, would you mind sharing this around your social media, please? And thank you, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I don't care. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it doesn't matter to me. Help us get the good word out. We're trying to get famous and rich, and we can't do it without your help. So, The Rob Brown Show is on all social media, or share the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, wherever you're watching this, and we'd appreciate it very much. Now, let's get back to the show. Stick around. What is up? All right, kids, we're back. Thanks for being here.
Wallace finished with a career-high 15 tackles to lead all players. Split backs behind Williams, who's under center. Now Swift motions, the snap, the handoff. Johnson is hit, and they stopped him.
Brevin Wallace made the play on that. He played hard. He played fast. He was tough in the run, and so you just love, he and Claude being out there, being able to, get some real football together and talk and communicate.
I'm an A. Schropp with this Panthers update, brought to you by Morris Jenkins.
For the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center, here's the Carolinas' most trusted forecast and the Fan upstate. For today, lots of sunshine into the upper 70s. Some clouds tonight, a low of 54. Back to the sunshine Thursday, a high of 72. Friday, lots of sun near 70 and staying sunny and dry for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll on the Fan upstate, currently 58 degrees.
But when it comes to the Tigers and these teams that are, I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you keep the books with the best teams. The puck drops in the NHL tonight. The best model is in on the action. Boston will travel to Florida to open up the season in a battle of the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. Both teams averaged over 3 goals a game last season, and that's what the BetQL model is focused on. Their 5-star best bet in the NHL tonight is taking the over between the Bruins and the Panthers in Florida. Bet smarter and beat the books with BetQL and download BetMGM.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, no matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long.
Colorado man loses both legs in horrifying wood chipper accident.
Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hi, this is Cole Bryson.
Apparently, the first half of that Brian Bosworth story, the reason this got brought up is because Dr. Pepper literally did not tell him it was Quinn Ewers until Quinn Ewers was on set because they knew he would say no.
That's funny.
That's incredible.
Well, I'm sure going forward, he'll make sure that's in his contract that he doesn't have to work.
Oh,
with
for
anyone
sure.
From that, I mean, you don't know you need to do it till you find out you do. I am surprised that those commercials have made it this many years. Some years are better than others. I like the hype train this year. I think that's, have you seen the hype train commercial with Fansville? Yeah, it's pretty good. They don't stay on the hype train very long. Quarterback gets hurt. The transfer portal was pretty good too. It was the actual portal. You never saw that one last year? Yeah.
This is my Dr. Pepper hand. Doctor.
Needs more doctors.
Can I tell you how much I hate the headline failure to launch for the Jets? Jets don't launch. They take off. Failure to take off. Would have been better. Not as catchy. But better.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Those arguments from now on will be matrix arguments. Just between me and you.
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Well, I was secretly hoping, please don't let me be the one who did that. What made it better is it's something that I can't change because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
If I did it, I just killed it. But if Tim had did it, I would kill it. But I'm just walking in periodically and staring at Tim while he's training. He gets real uncomfortable. What? What did I do? Leave me alone. You're creepy.
Second straight conference win Saturday when it welcomes Chattanooga to Paladin Stadium. Permanent Chattanooga Saturday. That's the countdown to kickoff begins at 12.
Connor Stallions. You may remember that name. If you do remember that name, you will remember that name, but Connor Stallions was the super secret spy behind the Michigan cheating scandal that rocked college football during the 2023 season, a cheating scandal that led to the suspension of Jim Harbaugh for a couple of games. Of course, ultimately didn't matter because Michigan would go on to win the national championship game and were forever be marred by that controversy. Well, Connor Stallions was making the rounds, is making the rounds, I guess you would say, on the podcasting circuit right now. He was on the College Football Report, and they straight up asked him, did you, and can you give us an example? And Connor Stallions, I guess, has decided that he is out of to give.
2021, we lose to Michigan State. Kenneth Walker had a great game.
Played fantastic.
Yep. And we needed some help, right? They had to lose twice, and we had to
Who
win
had to
out.
lose twice again?
Michigan State had to lose twice, and then that would have resulted in having a three-way tie. Or no, we would have beaten Ohio State, and then it would have just been us and Ohio State, because then Michigan State would not have been in that three-way tie. And they lost to Purdue. And then I think it was the next week they played Ohio State, the week before we played Ohio State. And so we needed Ohio State to win. So I gave Michigan State signals to a buddy of mine and said, hey, I changed all the logos. I made it look like it came from a different school. I don't want to give Ohio State something from Michigan, right? They might not use it. Who knows? But
Right.
We need Ohio State to win. And I know they steal the crap out of defensive signals. So here you go. So I gave it to a buddy who may have given it to a buddy who then gave it to Ohio State and said,
Classic
hey,
game of telephone.
Yep, I got this from so-and-so, name your school university.
Mhm.
And yeah, so they got, I'm sure they probably already had them, but it just confirmed everything. But yeah, and then they won like 60-0.
Connor Stallions says that he gave the Buckeyes signs, then disguised that they came from Michigan because he thought Ohio State would say, no, these came from Michigan. We don't want them. But he says that Ohio State did indeed receive. And though he did not say they used them, he did say that he made sure that those signs were delivered to Lonzo State's Buckeyes. So Connor Stallions now directly implicating the Ohio State horse chestnuts in the cheating scandal of 2023. Anything?
Oh, you want me to respond?
I sure damn do.
To a liar and a cheater, and you want me to talk about how I'm supposed to believe this guy? I'm supposed to believe that guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
At this
I don't
point,
believe him.
Why would he? Okay, that's dumb.
All right,
He
here's the
hates you.
thing.
That's why he would take you down with him.
No, here's the thing. Why would they need that to beat Michigan State? I mean, come on. It's Michigan State. I mean, come on.
I mean, right?
No,
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm just saying I absolutely do find it relatively.
I want to see some proof.
I don't have that.
So we're gonna take the word of a cheater.
Wait a minute. Hang on now. A lot of the accusation against Michigan are things that Connor Stallions has admitted to. So we're dismissing all of that too. So Michigan's off the hook because Connor Stallions has been saying he didn't do anything wrong at Michigan. We don't believe him there?
This is a thing where he wants to take down a bunch of other schools with him, so it lessen the degree of hate that he's getting from other people. That's what he's doing. Yeah. So he's also, by saying he helped other schools, makes it look less like Michigan had something to do with him doing what he did.
For the record, he also was directly asked if South Carolina received any signals from him.
I don't know about that.
Well, let me ask that question because did anyone from South Carolina get signs from you to steal from Tennessee and Georgia?
I don't know anyone at South Carolina. I don't know
Yeah, so that's how he responded to that. He gave the old classic I don't know how to answer that answer. Where is my button? Did I move
color coding is your friend. I'm just
it?
saying.
I had them all color coded. Now I have too many of them. Oh wait, there it is. I made it blue.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
So there's that. So there's that. Make of that as you wish. Now, I don't know. Is this story interesting anymore? Because I'm not NGL. They're not gonna like circle back around.
Yeah, they're not gonna do anything. So I mean, your 15 minutes is up, dude. Go away. Go back to coaching high school badly.
I mean, this 15 minutes is definitely not up. By the way, real quick before we go, Connor Stallions also said that he ain't the first to cheat.
Now you can do that. There's already, I'm not going to say who. It's not a Big Ten school, but there's already been a team that has had Bluetooth to the quarterback for years.
So Connor Stallion said, I'll give up the whole bag. I don't care. I take everybody. He's taking the Buckeyes down. He's taking another team that he won't mention who they are, but he's taking them down.
Does this fall under whistleblower laws? Can he? I mean, because he's kind of blowing the whistle on some people. I mean, supposedly.
I don't know because I'm dumb. I got nothing. Here's what I do know. What I do know is he was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast from Barstool, and I'm listening to this full interview today. I'm listening to this whole interview.
Yeah, they're going to ask the hard-hitting questions, of course.
I mean, dude, he just macho maned your team, said y'all were in on it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
He's only sticking with the Big Ten. You notice that. He's trying to stay away from other schools.
He don't give a damn about anybody else. Hey, CJ Stroud was on the McAfee show yesterday. Turns out I really like CJ Stroud. We'll talk about that next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Let's talk about my beautiful crossfade when you went late and I had to bring in the bed again. And it was some amazing work.
I only did it because I knew you would nail it.
Yeah. I mean, I need something for that. I'm saying.
How about a fourth SCBA award?
Okay, I'll do that.
Transactions on Tuesday. Carolina signed defensive lineman Sean Williams and pass rusher Shaq Lawson. They both played college football at Clemson. Classic Rock 101.1 is your home for Carolina Panthers play-by-play all season long. Download the Odyssey app, search the Fan Upstate, and listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders with the Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
Up to the minute, upstate traffic. The Cordell and Cordell construction cam shows a 7-mile, yes, a 7-mile backup between Highway 101 and Pelham Road on the southbound side of 85. Northbound 85 plugs up before 385 and stays that way for 2 miles. Northbound 14 is a parking lot from Five Forks up to Woodruff, and Woodruff is bogged down between 14 and 385. From the News Talk 98.9 WORD Traffic Center, I'm Bill Brooks on the Fan Upstate.
Hi, this is Diesel. And this is Cole Bryson. We'll be doing a special in-studio show with our friends from Ingles 3 to 7 today.
This will give all of our listeners and Ingles customers updates on exactly what is going on post-storm.
We hope you'll join us.
At Lowe's, we want to make sure you have everything to begin the path to recover after Hurricane Helene. Count on us for help with cleanup and repair. We've got necessities like roofing, lumber, and electrical in the quantities you need.
That's funny, James. Or Nicole Tepper. We don't know, according to reports.
Find out about relief efforts in your area or get emergency supplies now.
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas
Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry.
Were you listening to something that involved the man laughing?
Find out how
No.
Cintas
Okay.
boosts team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I was just listening to the stream in the office and there was a regular commercial playing, but there was like a man laughing on top of it, like 2 or 3 times.
You sure it wasn't in the commercial?
Yes.
So if you're 50 and up, make this
I wasn't listening to anything.
call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Maybe we've been hacked.
2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval subject to system and aerial and taxes and other fees apply.
From the Ingles Market Studio.
Or maybe it was just me laughing.
I mean, your mic's off.
Yeah, but my mic.
This is why you never say anything in a studio you wouldn't say in front of your boss people or your mom or the FCC chief or whoever.
Which I don't. So I mean, also I don't care. So there's that.
CJ Stroud was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and the reason I bring this up is because as I listened to this interview yesterday, it's a good listen. It was an enjoyable interview. I said something that I have yet to say about anything so far, guys. I think the Panthers may have drafted the wrong guy. I think the Panthers. I need you all to know that hurt me so much more than I thought it was going to. I think the Panthers may have drafted the wrong guy. I may have arrived at that conclusion. Now, that's not to say Bryce Young still can't be good. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute with something that Kurt Warner said yesterday. He may still be good down the line. It maybe a little further developed. Maybe needs a little bit more time. Maybe he's on the Sam Darnold method. Take a little while to get in the right situation and then be the man. We'll see. But CJ Stroud came out kicking butt very quickly and continues to kick butt to this this very day. How did you get so mature, CJ Stroud? Asked Pat McAfee.
You think it's because you played so much ball at Ohio State that you just kind of drop in here and you're a 90-year-old man at the most important position in the NFL? Why do you think you have that maturity level already?
Yeah, I would say it has to do something with it. My time at Ohio State definitely prepared me, not only on the field, but off as well. So I would honestly say just who I am kind of as a person. I think I've always kind of been a mature kid since I've been little. Now, like, I'm just maturing as a man. But I definitely think as I talk to defenses around the league after games, they're like, man, we're going to take you away and force other guys to beat us. So, and I think that's a sign of respect, but also, we're still finding ways to win, which that is what matters at the end of the day.
I like this dude a lot. We played it earlier. I'm going to play it again because I just liked it that much. There was one throw that CJ Stroud made. It was a little out route to Nico Collins over to the right, just past the sticks, enough to pick up the first down and effectively doom Pat McAfee's Indianapolis Colts. And McAfee asked him about that. And not only did CJ Stroud answer the question from Pat McAfee, but then he decided to dogpile on Pat, who was very sour about his Colts losing.
3rd and 11, fourth quarter, we were charging back. That ball right there, okay? Hey, listen, that can't be happening against Indianapolis anymore. You hear me? That's one of the nicest throws of all time. And you say, like, I have to remind people this is regular. Is there throws or is there moments in games where after something happens, you go, damn, I can't believe that happened? Is that happening still to you, or is everything legitimately expected at this point? That should have been picked off, batted down, and too far out of bounds. Instead, you thread 2 needles, and then you make a first down to win the game pretty much in Indianapolis. It's like, this is just what this guy does. Is there anything that surprises you anymore, or do you have full confidence in everything you're doing?
I would say I have full confidence. I'm very humble at the same time, but I know what I can do on the field. I know that there's no defense for the perfect throw. So I just really, you got to just be able to focus in those moments. I seen you and Tyrese over there going crazy. So, I had to hush y'all boys. I was trying to look at y'all after. I think y'all left. Y'all beat the traffic.
Okay, all right.
Whoa. Not true.
Whoa. These tight streets down there.
I was trying to find you.
Yeah, there was this thing going on. There was a meet and greet. It was
had that meeting.
Yeah, there was a thing going on. Don't you worry about it. Seems like every time you come, those meetings come a little bit sooner every single time.
My dude put McAfee on blast for bailing on the team that he loves and that he celebrates all the time. Was like, hey, I was looking for you on the sideline, Pat. Where'd you go, bud? Caught him out on his own show. It's incredible. Let me tell you what I hear out of this kid and what I see out of this kid. What I see out of this kid, obviously, is a tremendous quarterback. And I have been and will continue to give a ton of credit to the Houston Texans because they didn't just realize what they drafted in CJ Stroud, but they immediately begin saying, here's how we build around this kid. Here is how we make sure that this kid is set up for success. Then he went out there and he said, all right, you're going to put the guys around me to be successful. I'm going to make sure I'm developing, I'm learning in this game to do it. But here's the other part. CJ Stroud is absolutely a dude who at this point would be fully understandable if it went straight to his head. And he was out there kind of being like, he's not that at all. He's not that at all. He's fun. He's lighthearted, but he's also obviously very serious about the game and has taken full advantage of the opportunities presented to him. I have said a couple of times, I haven't heard yet, and I'm not saying they're not happening. I'm not saying they're not happening, but I haven't heard the interview where Bryce Young sounds like a quarterback getting better. In fact, here, Sheena Quick asked Bryce if the benching and having to sit on the sidelines the last couple of games have impacted him or motivated him. Listen to the difference in the way. And I'm not judging the guy for how he talks in terms of tone or inflection, any of that. But listen to Bryce Young's answer.
I'm not someone who's really externally motivated. I draw my motivation from inside. So good, bad, or indifferent. I don't want anything to dictate if I'm motivated, if I care, if I am driven. No matter how things are going, that's always gonna stay the same.
It's a fine answer.
I don't care what you say. You're not going to motivate me. I motivate me. I guess is what he's saying.
It's a fine answer. There are, and in this, I will say there are 3 types of people. People that are internally motivated, people that are externally motivated, and people who aren't motivated at all.
What if you have multiple voices that are motivated by each?
You're schizophrenic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just asking for a friend.
I mean, you're
and
still
a friend, and also
that
a
other friend.
Yeah.
That is by definition an internally motivated people. And there are some people who are, they catch a little bit of both. I will tell you, I'm an externally motivated person. Okay. You know what I'm motivated by? As Lonzo and I have had this conversation many times. Lonzo and I are motivated when somebody say, y'all can't, y'all won't, this ain't it. Lonzo and I are 2 people who go, oh, okay, all right, watch out. When I got here and we started putting in for SCBA Show of the Year awards, you know what one of the things I got told was? Rob, that award, yeah, we've got a couple, but you're brand new to the market. You're probably not going to get it. What'd Lonzo and I do? Won that son of a in year number 1, baby, and 2 more times since then, and we're going for it in year 4. Because I've been told, hey, you're 4 out of 5. Come on, dude. Like, there's a lot of shows in the state. Yeah, well, that's it. External motivation. Daddy like money. I like working, as Alonso makes a joke about 63 jobs. Hockey season starts tonight. Preseason game at home against the South Carolina Stingrays. I got hockey. I got baseball. I got football. I got all kinds. I got more irons in the fire. I like to work. You know why I like to work? Do you think it's because I take great pride in being busy all the time? No. I like money. I'm a big fan. I'm motivated by the dinero. I just happen to be one of the cats that's very, very fortunate and able to do 67 jobs and like the jobs that I do, but I'm motivated by the money. External motivation. I listen to Bryce Young, and it's fine to be an internally motivated guy. Like, it is fine to go, I want to prove to me. I want to. I'm good with that. That's fine. It ain't the way I work. It ain't the way I operate, but it is what it is. That being said, I don't listen to that guy and like feel a sense of confidence about him, right? Not making me feel confident in him. And I think I am the last Bryce Young defender in the Carolinas at this point. But I don't feel confidence about him. I don't feel a confidence of BY. I'm utilizing this. This is a fire. I got to prove these people wrong. And just say, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a guy that's like, yeah, I don't know. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm not saying that's it. That is how he is. I'm just saying it's how it comes across to me. And then there's CJ Stroud, who is like the exact opposite. He threw that touchdown to Nico Collins, like 60 yards on the dime, dropped that thing in a bucket. Looked remarkable throwing it. And I pointed this out to Alonzo Monday. I know he saw it already, but I loved it so much. Turn to the hard cam like a seasoned WWE veteran. Cross the arms, lean the head back like a freaking gangster.
Yeah, and you're still finding deep shots. I mean, you had one of the coldest celebrations this last weekend. I mean, this ball obviously in a bucket, but then the hands crossed, arms crossed, Todd, Nico, we'll talk about him here in a little bit, your connection, and obviously him being week to week. And that's one of the coldest reactions I've seen in some time. We knew we were doing this. If the next shot or just in the moment felt like this was the right reaction.
I feel like it was just the right reaction. It was kind of just, I didn't plan on it, but I kind of did something similar last year. But, just reminding myself and, remind everybody it's regular, you mess up. You give me the shot, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to just make you pay. So, I often just have to remind myself, too, like I'm still that guy. I can still play this game at a very, very high level. So I think that was just like one of those moments like, yeah, like it's like that. So
I had to remind everybody.
I'm not always that way.
I had to remind everybody this is regular. That is an awesome response.
What's regularity have to do with his pose? Do you look constipated?
Okay. I think what Pat and CJ meant by that, no, the word regular doesn't ordinarily go straight to how's your poop. It
does though.
It does if you're older.
I'm contractually obligated as a grandpa to ask that question.
Exactly. My grandmother literally every time I go see her is like, how's your BM?
You're gonna get the rules in February.
Is it a 40 thing? Oh,
they're gonna be mailed to you.
That's terrifying. I apologize every day.
Yes, they will be mail. It won't be an email.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Rob Brown Show. Happy Thursday morning. I hope you're all regular and having a great day. That's how we have to intro every show starting February.
You could say that and it could have two meanings. I mean,
I think what he means by that is CJ is so used to making that play that there's no like running down the field or windmill in the arms because I'm all jacked up. He's just like, that is what the hell I do.
No, this is, here's what I believe. I believe that there's some old guy that's trolling the Utes and put that word into the Urban Dictionary and made it mean something else. And the whole time it just means regularity. And he's like, watch this. And now they're all using that word, but he knows what it really means. Like I know what it means. Like you'll know when you get the rules when you turn 40.
I look forward to that email. It'll come in.
No. It's gonna be regular mail.
They fax it to me?
Yeah, no, it's mail.
Oh, it's actual mail.
Yeah,
like with a stamp on it.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah, don't throw it away because they'll keep sending it. They'll know if you open it or not.
So I do want to say, because Texter said, don't you think that CJ Stroud would have been a bust on the Panthers and Bryce Young would have been lighting it up for the Texans? I have said, and I maintain to this day, I think CJ Stroud would have taken the Panthers up a win or two last year and a win or two this year. And I think Bryce Young would have taken the Texans down a win or two last year and a win or two this year. Okay? I don't think it would have been like directly the inverse. I don't think Bryce Young would be doing everything CJ Stroud's doing in Texas with the Texans right now. And I don't think CJ Stroud will be doing everything CJ Stroud's doing with the Texans in Carolina or what Bryce Young's doing in Carolina. I think they would have both come back to the average a little bit. I absolutely put a majority of the blame of the failure to develop Bryce Young on the Carolina Panthers leading up to this year. Okay, I maintain that. And my examples, my illustrations are Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, who are both having electrifying years in Minnesota and Tampa Bay, respectively, this year. So I think there is evidence right now, that Carolina and the New York Jets could both say, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. But I also think I saw CJ Stroud this weekend making throws that rookies don't make. That's it. That pass that McAfee asked him about, that sideline pass, when McAfee said you threaded the needle twice and dropped that thing on a dime, he's not lying. There was, when, you hear the term window, right? You got to throw it in the window. The window to get that football through was the size of a football. If that ball is an inch left, an inch right, an inch up, an inch down, that ball is not caught. But CJ Stroud threw a strike in that spot, and he just keeps doing it. The deep ball, finesse. The short ball on a beam, smoke coming off the back of it. The throws this guy's making are 4 years beyond where he should be as a second-year starter at this point. It's incredible. Do I think he would have been a bust in Carolina? No. Do I think he'd look like this? Also, no. There's no Nico Collins in Carolina. There's no set in Carolina. They're better than they were last year for sure. But Deontay Johnson ain't that guy. He's good. He's a good X, but he ain't Nico Collins, who is broken out for the Houston Texans. Do I think he'd be as bad as Bryce Young has looked? No. Do I think CJ Stroud would have been benched this year? No, I do not. I think he'd have been better than that. I like this kid a lot, and I am at the spot now, a year and 5 games in, where I have to say, I think the Panthers got the wrong guy. Now, James just said in the stream, the Texans failed upwards. They would have taken Bryce at 1. I agree. And I also think 22, 25 teams would have taken Bryce Young number 1. I'm not going to elbow drop the Panthers for having Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. The overwhelming, not consensus, but overwhelming thought was Bryce Young was the pick.
Nope.
It's easy to say that a year and a half later. It's easy to go, I knew the whole time. If CJ Stroud was a UCLA Bruin and not an Ohio State Buckeye, Lonzo would have different feelings about it. He acknowledges his homerism.
You can say, yes, my homerism does exist, but you can say that, but you can't say that because you don't know that. CJ Stroud was a better quarterback to me in college, and I thought he was better ready for the NFL, for sure.
That part of the argument I'm fine with. And I said that from the beginning. Remember what my catchphrase was. CJ Stroud has a higher initial roof than Bryce Young. Bryce Young has a higher long-term roof than CJ Stroud.
Saying ceiling, and the roof is higher than the ceiling. I mean, it's
okay. Whatever above us level.
We heard the ceiling talk quite a bit.
Okay,
there's a promo about
CJ Stroud has a higher initial ceiling. Bryce Young has a higher long-term ceiling than CJ Stroud. But
it's a lot of buts.
Maybe not. Point is, Bryce Young in college better quarterback than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud?
Disagree.
Absolutely more.
Disagree.
Disagree.
Then go back and listen to the tape. Disagree now.
I'm not saying you didn't say that. I'm saying you were wrong about that. However,
was I?
You were right about CJ Stroud being more NFL ready, and I will give you that. I think maybe the Cats got the wrong guy. You know who's not the wrong guy? Lonzo when it's Sports Flash time.
I am Mr. Right. So the New York Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh, probably a dad joke, yesterday after the team opened the season with a record of 2-3. Not him being fired, my name. Owner Woody Johnson said the decision was his. Saleh had been with the Jets since 2021 and compiled a 20-36 record, which is bad, no matter what sport you're in, and was unable to end the Jets' 13-year playoff drought. With that record, you can't do that. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his 4th home run in 5 games as the San Diego Padres beat the LA Dodgers 6-5 and took a 2-1 lead in the National League Division Series. Game 4 of the series is tomorrow. Tune in this Saturday at 12:30 as Furman Paladins take on Chattanooga Mocs. It's Furman versus Chattanooga right here on your home for Paladins football. That would be us. That would be the fan. That would be the fan upstate. What'd he say? Plugs up.
From the News Talk 98.9 WORD Traffic Center, I'm Bill Brooks on the Fan Upstate. You don't have to keep living.
Whoa, commerce going on the stream here. I mean, I don't know about, commerce going on here.
That can revitalize your joints. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed in your achy joint. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, these are cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a quick office procedure that can get you moving again. These protocols have been developed by medical professionals and under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkamp, a former orthopedic surgeon and a pioneer in clinical regenerative medicine. Listen, is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love, pain in your knees, your hips, your back, and your shoulder? You owe it to yourself to learn more. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. They're at 864-448-3772. That's 864-448-3772 in Greenville and in Nashville. 864-448-3772. Hey, Sean Hannity here to tell you about American-made windows of the Upstate. Now, they're a locally owned company. They'll let Don and Pam show you how to save money on one of the best investments you'll ever make for your home. High utility bills, rotting window sills, moisture between panes, rooms that are too hot or too cold to even sit in. That's all signs that you need new windows, so make sure to get yours from American-made windows of the Upstate. You can find them online at AmericanMadeWindowsUpstate.com. That's AmericanMadeWindowsUpstate.com. The best windows are American-made.
Set your kids up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Just like learning the rules of football, understanding money management is crucial. Our Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids the basics.
Yeah, I'm trying to make my selection now, Mac, for that. Yeah. Although, I could do it and just wear a t-shirt under it, like all the big guys do. Not for the reason that people might think. It has nothing to do with not wanting to throw the gun show out there. It has nothing to do with unsightly moles or freckles, which could be. Has nothing to do with moles or freckles. It has to do with back hair. So the back hair, it's gonna stick out like Team Wolf when he was turning on the basketball court. Little tufts of hair here and there. You had to get off the court before people saw that who Team Wolf really was. You know that? Yeah. And tomorrow is Thursday. You're right. We'll see if Rob rocks the basketball jersey tomorrow. Don't let him forget. And also, I said I never would participate. But again, I could do that and just throw a t-shirt under it.
We're going Space Jam jersey tomorrow. Already picked it out. Also, we are going to switch it to Tuesday next week. I just forgot to do that this week. That's on me.
You're forgetting. That's surprising.
No, especially not now.
Yeah, I know. You made it a thing, and then now it's not a thing. So is it going to be a thing? Because I never said I was participating in the thing, because it would require me to make a purchase that I just would have money to spend on other stuff.
You don't own a single tank top?
I do, but they're ratty and they're old, and I use them to mow the lawn. And you don't want me wearing those in here. I even have some almost tanks. They're just the sleeveless things. Yeah, I got some of those.
We can count that.
What are those called? I don't even know what those are called.
Sleeveless tees, I think.
Are they?
Yeah. The fourth, the final, the best hour of the Rob Brown Show starts now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rob, the great one, Alonzo, and you. If you want to be a part of the show, the Renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas fans phone is open for you. 844-326-36 63. Our text line is open, 71307, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, and we will read them on the radio broadcast. You can also tweet me at The Rob Brown Show. You can tweet the great one at Lonzo Onward. You can tweet everybody up in the hizzle at The Fan Upstate if you want to come at us in that direction. And don't forget the voice notes function. I don't think that's the actual name of it, but I don't know what the actual name of it is.
Wow. So you've been advertising this thing for a week and you don't know what it's called?
Well, okay. It's called the voice messages feature, but I don't like that.
Yeah, voice note sounds better.
Yeah.
I mean,
now we're going to come up with a better name for it.
Come on,
All right?
corporate. I mean, do better.
No. Listen, they can call it whatever they want. It's not what we're calling it on this show. We got to come up with a good name for this.
Well,
thing.
I mean,
we got to come up with a hook.
Other places would call it a whiner line and things like that. I mean, complaint line.
Yeah, we got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. We got to come up with a hook for this. We got to come up with a title for the voice notes feature.
How about the boat show? I don't know. I mean,
That's a dated reference for the Rob Brown Show Armada.
Right.
And a good one. A good one. The voice notes feature, which we will come up with a better name for. I'm gonna brainstorm that later today.
So apparently I don't get to participate, but that's fine.
We're gonna voice notes, but I'm just I'm gonna end up calling it something inappropriate that you won't love. But we're doing it anyway.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah. We're gonna call it the offline.
Are you gonna talk to management about that first, or are you just gonna call it that?
We're just gonna do it.
All right.
We're gonna do it. I am a firm believer.
Since the other show has no access to it, it's because somehow you found a way to have the only access. They're not happy about that, by the way. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you're the only one who seems to know how to do the thing. Yeah, that's there's some animosity. There's some avarice going on around here.
I didn't do it on purpose, for the record. We're going to call it something. It's going to be better than the voice. Anyway, here's the point. Go to the Odyssey app. Go to the Fan Upstate page. There's two buttons in the middle of the page. One is it's a rectangle, but with circular ends. I don't know what shape that is. It's not really an oval because it's like a rectangle, but the ends it's orange. You click that button, you can listen to the station live 24/7, 365. But next to that, there's a little circle button. It's got a microphone in the middle of it. You click that button. And once thou does.
So you haven't even looked at it. Does it actually say what that is, or it's the button's just there?
I am willing, Lonzo, just for you. I'm willing to even pull it up on the Odyssey app right here on my phone, which is easy to do. You just click on the Odyssey app, download it to your phone.
Hey, you know what? It's
right
free.
There.
Also.
And it is free.
It is free.
Fan Upstate page. You click on that page, it's going to bring you here.
Right,
there's the orange Listen Live
here.
button.
Yeah.
All right. Right next to it, little circle microphone on.
You know what that doesn't say? It doesn't say what it is or what it does.
Right.
Wow.
Which is why I'm explaining to the people.
Wow. So this expects someone to go onto the app and go, hey, I wonder what this does.
You click on the Listen Live button, and it's my favorite thing.
It's called test marketing, people. Yeah, there's some animosity.
See, it automatically brings up us live 24/7, 365.
It's a little bit behind, obviously.
It's a little bit behind, but you're still there. You click on the voice notes function. It's a little circle microphone. It's going to bring up this purple half screen. It's got another little microphone button on it. And if you click it, like we will now, and you leave a voice message on it of any length, as long as it's under 60 seconds, you can say whatever you want to me, to Lonzo. Apparently not to Cole Bryson and Diesel, but we'll see if we can get them sorted out. And then when you're done, you click the stop button. As soon as you do, it says, would you like to re-record or send? You simply push send. And once you do.
And none of that's explained. No, I mean, you just show the screen and it's just a button and people are supposed to know what that button is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here to tell them what it is.
I mean,
otherwise
exactly what I'm here for.
They may not have the curiosity that you and I do going, hey, I wonder what this does. And
That's why right now it's the Armada line. All right. That's the Armada line. And once you click that and you submit it, it's under 60 seconds. You can say whatever you want to me, to Lonzo. Apparently not to Cole Bryson and Diesel, but we'll see if we can get them sorted out. And then when you're done, you click the stop. There you go. Sends it right to me.
Listen, as loud as Rob is, and it's just only slightly over processed. Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah. So click that button on the Odyssey app, the little microphone. It's going to bring you to another page. You click that little microphone. You can submit as a voice note up to 60 seconds long. Send it right to me. Listen, I want this to be an integral part of the show. Let me tell you what I see in my dreams.
Ooh.
What I see in my dreams is that you guys are clicking that button at like 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday after a bad day of college football.
You want drunk people. You
I
are
want
encouraging
drunk people. I
drunk
want
people.
angry people. I want hilarious people. I want characters. All right.
All right.
I want it
you
all.
make not just one guy who has nothing to do, but he's at home all the time and he's just.
Yeah, I want these all to be different people, not the same guy.
I've had to deal with that on these kind of lines before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, haven't you put anything out yet? It's just the same dude doing the same thing. I can't.
The voice notes feature available on the Fan Upstate page, free on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go there, record your 60-second voice note, send it to us. I want them at 2:30 in the morning on Saturdays. I want them at noon on Wednesday when you're having a crap day at the office and something Lonzo said during the show ticked you off and you want to respond to it. I want voice notes Sunday at 1:15 because your team's down 21 points in the first quarter to the Jaguars and you got something to say about it.
Hey, why not every day at 10 a.m. just jump on the app just for a second.
Give us a show review
and tell us who won the show.
Yeah.
Did I win or did Rob win? That's all we want to know. Be as creative as
4
you can.
years in, and we got a show who won the show competition.
Give examples about why Rob won or why I won or why you think it was a tie. I mean,
do that. And also 2:30 in the morning on Saturdays after a bender because your college football team got upset. Whatever you want.
I'm guessing, I've never been in that state before, but pushing that little tiny button when you're in that state, probably difficult.
Maybe that's why they did that. That's why they made it such a small button. Go to the Odyssey app, go to the Fan Upstate page, click on that microphone button, and drop us a 60-second voice note. I don't care what you talk about. I don't care what you talk about. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you say it. Don't be racist. Don't be sexist. Outside of that, I don't give a crap. Have fun. It's what it's there for. It is the one way that you can interact with the show completely and totally uncensored. And then I'll censor it later.
So if you just want to call and say, hey, Rob.
You suck!
I was wondering, because my favorite pudding is tapioca. Is it okay that my favorite pudding is tapioca? Hey, Rob, what is the stuff in tapioca? Is that actually tapioca or is that bugs? Because it looks like bugs and it crunches when I eat tapioca.
And that's 60 seconds. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
You're done.
There we go.
Or you can be like, hey, Rob, we suck. I mean, there's no dial tone, but you get the point. You get the point.
If you can incorporate the dial tone, then we'll know it's fake.
Whatever. Have fun. All right. The voice notes feature free on the Odyssey app. I want this to be a major part of the show moving forward. So use it. Okay.
Also, if you want to talk about the person that you've hated the most on the station historically,
listen.
you can rank hosts and producers and every personality that's ever been on the station like 1 to 10. I want to know who the worst one was in the entire history of the station. Some of you have been listening from the beginning. Just curious who that would be.
Me too. Me too. I also want that.
We can give you ideas, or you could just push the button and just say something.
Push the button, say whatever you want. It's what it is there for. All right, we got a bunch more stuff we need to get to in the final of the show. Texter UNC Chris said we should call it the Ray line.
It's got to be the memorial.
The Ray Memorial voice notes. We got to come up with voice. So the Ray Memorial message board. I'm going to come up with that last word. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we may call it the Ray Memorial line. That might be it. The Ray Memorial Message Center. That might be it.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Ray. We hardly knew ye.
Oh, no, we knew you.
We knew ye very well.
Yeah, we did.
We knew you more than we maybe wanted to in some cases. Rip to a legend, Ray. For those of you that are relatively new to the Armada, you may not know, Lonzo and I tend to get sidetracked sometimes. We tend to end up going this direction, but then we end up over there. We always bring it back. We always come back around.
The side roads come back to the main road eventually.
We always come back around, but we tend to get sidetracked sometimes. And it's not always about sports to the point that it has just become the show. If you listen to the show, you know that inevitably we're going to find our way over there and then we're going to come sauntering back and we're going to get back on track. Well, there used to be a texter on our text line at 71307, but you can start your text with the word FAN, F-A-N. We'll read them on the show, or we won't. We'll see. But we had a texter named Ray who used to text the show every time Lonzo and I got away from sports for more than like 7 seconds. Ray would text the show and tell us how bad we were at our jobs. Ray would text the show and tell us how bad the show is and how we need to hashtag stick to sports and how he's never listening again. And then would inevitably text the show again like a week later. And this went on, this went on for like a year and a half. Ray would text every time I got off sports to be like, your show sucks. You suck. You're bad at your job. Go away. Go back to Florida. Get out of here. You and Lonzo are trash. And then one day, Ray just disappeared. And he has been MIA ever since. Which means one of two things. Either Ray finally lived up to his word and he found a new station to listen to in the mornings, or Ray dead. Well, it's one of those two things. Either Ray moved on to a better place or Ray moved on to a better place. Those are the two options. So I think we may very well be calling the voice notes feature the Ray Memorial Hotline. I think that's it. The Ray Memorial Hotline is open for you. Go to the Odyssey app, go to the Fan Upstate page, click on that microphone button, and leave a message on the Ray Memorial Hotline. And if it's good enough and I like it, we'll play it on the air. We'll see how this goes. Real good or real bad. All right, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to go ahead and run to a break just a minute early, and when we come back, Kurt Warner. You may have heard of Kurt Warner. He was an NFL quarterback for like a while. He's pretty good. Went to a couple Super Bowls. Pretty good quarterback. Well, Kurt Warner was on a podcast yesterday, and he was asked about how in his strategery, he would develop a young quarterback. So when Zoe and I come back, we're going to play a little hold up, and we're going to respond to what Kurt Warner said is the correct way to develop a young quarterback. Something I think is very important that the Carolina Panthers learn, because they're either going to do it with the one they got or they're going to do it with the one they going to get. But they're going to have to do it. We'll talk about that next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Maybe I should go ask engineering if they can fix my headphones. Chris loves challenges. Why not? My picture's on the side of the building. I need someone to fix my headphones. That's how that works.
Do you know who I am?
Come here. Come out here. Look up there. You know who that is, right? Fix my headphones.
Well, we got a voice note, but it doesn't have the volume to it. That's very disappointing.
Boost the volume and be like,
Is what I asked for.
well, no, it may be Ray.
You know what? I'm going to drop it into Kool-Aid.
It may be Ray. If we get some creepy backmasking stuff, I'm out. All right, so maybe it's not functioning correctly or it's harder than we thought.
Well, it's not. I did it on the air. I showed you how to do it.
Yeah, I know, but you're a broadcast professional.
That is also true.
Seriously, I have a problem with the button, man, because it doesn't say what it does.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, do they like
The
test
Ray
market?
Memorial Hotline.
They test market anything they do? It's just, hey, this worked really good in a big market. It should work everywhere. Our listeners are smart. They know what this button does. Really?
What is
too faint of heart? Grab one of our newest air medallions to brave the attractions with your friends. Got kids? They will be able to take over the night and repel the monsters that
So I did go home last night and I watched, or yesterday afternoon, and watched the remake of Salem's Lot. And I had intended to just watch a little bit of it while I ate lunch, and I ended up watching the whole thing because it was a classic horror movie, done in 1975. That's the setting. Where the vampires end up staying, I thought was clever. The effects were good. They took some shortcuts on some of the characters from the book, but I liked it. And one thing that was missing was there were no politics, there were no anything. It was just a straight up vampire in a small town. And I just liked that. It was a movie set in 1975 without 1975 pacing.
I have to say a thing here.
Uh-oh.
About a press release I just got.
Uh-oh.
No, this is incredible. If you're a soccer guy, this is going to blow your mind.
Okay, I'm out.
No. It's very good for us.
Okay.
Today, the Greenville Triumph and Greenville of Liberty will announce that global soccer icon Ronaldinho is joining the club's ownership group.
I have no idea who that is.
That would be like
maybe it's the way you said it.
That would be like if the I don't even know what to compare it to. That would be like if you had a local football club and Tom Brady joined the ownership group. You'd be like, excuse me?
Or if would it be the equivalent of, well, no, I guess it would. I was going to say a soccer club owned by Deadpool, but no.
No,
well, Max seems to be pretty excited about
right.
it.
That is the right response. That is exactly the reaction I had just a minute ago when I read it.
Maybe it was his accent. Maybe if he said it, maybe I'd understand what he said because
The Rob Brown Show continues. It's the Fan Upstate, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Rob Brown and the great one, Lonzo, with you. Kurt Warner was an NFL quarterback, and I would argue a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Had some success. Took him a little while to get going, but had some success.
Did he win the Super Bowl?
Kurt Warner,
I do believe,
won many things.
Greatest show on turf
during his time as a quarterback for
maybe
the
not.
St. Louis Rams, the Green Bay Packers, as we all know, Iowa Barnstormers, the Amsterdam Admirals, the New York Giants, and of course the Arizona Cardinals. And he is indeed not just a Super Bowl champion. He was also in that same Super Bowl, the Super Bowl MVP. He was a two-time NFL MVP in 99 and 01, a two-time first-team Pro Bowler, a four-time Pro Bowler, a two-time NFL passing touchdowns leader, a three-time NFL completion percentage leader, a two-time NFL passer rating leader, an NFL passing yards leader, a Burt Bell Award winner, a Bart Starr Award winner, and has made his entrance into the Arizona Cardinals Ring of Honor. He also holds the record for most touchdown passes in a single postseason, a record that he shares with Patrick Mahomes and Joe freaking Flacco. Ladies and gentlemen, a prestigious group there. Kurt Warner, a pretty good quarterback. So when Kurt talks about quarterbacking, I think some of us should listen. You know who I think should listen the mostest? The Carolina Panthers. Kurt Warner yesterday was doing some interviews, and he got asked if you were responsible for the growth and development of a young quarterback. How'd you handle it, Kurt? How would you handle it? And Kurt, being the gentleman that he is, answered that question. We're going to play a little game we like to call Hold Up. What we're going to do is going to play this audio. And anytime that we would like to react to anything, Lonzo or I can say, hold up. And we will stop the audio on the dot, respond, and then pick it up. Here is Kurt Warner.
I would start by teaching them how to play the position. And what I mean by that is I think too many teams rely on what I call pure progression passing. And it's, really taken over every level. And the premise behind it is we're not really going to teach the quarterback how to play the position, meaning reading coverages, understanding responsibilities, understanding, when I can go to this side on a concept and when I have to get off of that concept based on the structure of the defense. And we're playing in a world where it says we need our guys to play as soon as possible. And we want the best athletes, the biggest playmaker to play as soon as possible. So we're going to develop a system.
Hold up, Kurt. Hold up. Wait, Kurt. Okay, sorry, I missed the button. That's my fault, not Kurt Warner's.
Okay, well, you slid away from the mic and everything. That's
yeah. Do you understand how excited that made me? Do you understand how excited it made me? Yeah, that was weird. I take that back. That was real weird, and I'm real sorry about that.
I might have to call HR.
I don't feel that way about you, Kurt Warner. I like you a lot. It's all platonic. You know how excited I am to hear what Kurt Warner just said? You know why I'm excited to hear what Kurt Warner just said? Because it's what I've been telling you guys for a very long time. Young quarterbacks, with a few rare exceptions, get killed. And the concern I have is that it stunts their development in the league. Here's what I mean. And I've said this a couple times. It is worse for the guys who get drafted by teams that are not only booty cheeks, but their coaches' booty cheeks are on the hot seat. It's worse for them. Because, as I have pointed out, and as Kurt just did, in different words, same message. When you bring in a guy and you go, we need our best guy to play immediately, and right now we need our biggest playmaker on the field, so that you do so with the acknowledgement that this guy immediately, a guy who's never played in the NFL, or like, I don't know, a particular number 9 in the NFL, not naming names, but if there was a young man wearing number 9 somewhere in the league, maybe the second year. But you throw these cats to the wolves. You throw these cats out there and you go, hey, go win right now. Because if you don't go win right now, I lose my job. And we blame it on head coaches. But I also want to point out, this is true for general managers. This is true for quarterbacks, coaches, offensive coordinators, etc. And it is obviously mostly about the quarterback position. But the quarterback is the only position on the football field that can individually win or lose you games based on their performance. It's the only one. If your running back's bad, you can work around him. Wide receiver's bad, you can work around him. Cornerback, safety's bad, you can work around him. You can disguise, you can change things up. If your quarterback stinks, you stink. That's just it. If your quarterback stinks, you stink. So I think what Kurt's saying here is, I would teach the guy, I would take the time to teach the guy the game, not just go out there and do stuff, do cool stuff. I would take time to teach him the game. I would take time to allow them to learn coverages and looks and understand the shape and philosophy of the NFL before I ask them to go, save my butt.
To play as soon as possible. So we're going to develop a system where we don't really ask them to see the defense. We're asking them to understand who their number 1 guy is, who their number 2 guy is, who their number 3, 4, 5 guys are. And we're building plays that keep that same progression no matter what the coverage is.
Hold up again. Correct. Because I think, and I'm not an NFL quarterbacks coach. All right. I know a little bit of ball. I'm not claiming I'm ready to go be Cliff Kingsbury or anything, but I know a little bit of ball. And I think one of the things that has happened in years recent is that because of guys like Mahomes, Allen, etc., I think that we have kind of gotten to the point that offenses are based around a concept, and a lot of these best of the best BOTB players, a lot of these BOTB players are they make it appear, oh my.
All right. According to several sources, the NCAA has eliminated the national letter of intent for all sports used for generations.
Can I be honest? It's been that way. Like, really? Breaking news brought to you by BetQL. Be a better, be smarter, beat the books with our friends at BetQL. And don't forget to listen to Bet for the Cycle every Saturday from noon to 4 on the BetQL network with myself and Cody Decker. And make sure you have the BetQL app and listen to the BetQL network on the Odyssey app. We haven't cared about national letters of intent for years. Why? Because what do we tune in for? Hat putting on day. Hat putting on day. And to be honest with you, can we do off with National Signing Day as well? Nobody cares anymore. It used to be this big festive thing that we all got ready for. It's February 21st or whatever. Everybody gather around your computer and let's watch high school children tell us where they're going to go play footballs. And it used to be a huge deal. Back when I worked at Destin, we used to have National Signing Day remotes that I would literally go out and do 10-hour remotes. I would do 10 consecutive hours of radio only talking about college football National Signing Day. Nobody cares anymore because we got kids making these announcements all over the place all the time. That's really interesting. But like you're doing away with something that nobody's cared about for how many years? When's the last time, Lonzo? My show, other shows, any shows? When's the last time National Signing Day was like, guys, focus on NSD today?
All right. So this station's been on over a decade, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be back in the early days of the station.
Yep. National
Not
Day.
covered in the way that you're talking about, sending people out for the thing, but we had it on TV and we would talk about a bunch of it. So
this used to be a thing, dudes. Like this used to be a thing that we went out and did and we covered it live. And I'm sure that there are some stations that say, I think you can do that if you're like a station that's dialed in on a school, right? Like if you're a station that focuses on one school, then maybe it's a big deal for you. But if you're a station like ours where it's like we do a little anything and everything, I'm just going to say nobody cares about National Signing Day anymore. It hasn't been a thing in a couple of years because it's just wide open next now, man. It's just wide open. The only thing I care about on National Signing Day now is when players troll the school that's about to become their rival, right? When a guy is sitting down with a Texas and Oklahoma hat in front of him and he picks up the Oklahoma hat and then throws it into the rafters and puts on the Texas hat. I care about that because lulz, because it's funny. But like, we know where most of these guys, hey, it's whatever. It's whatever. Or maybe I'm just a bad college football fan. I don't know. All right, let's get back to this Kurt Warner thing. Let's keep going with Kurt.
And so these guys are never really learning how to play the game. You know, all they're learning is, okay, can I throw it to that guy if he's open? And then trying to build some type of understanding on.
All right, hold up. So that makes it sound like they learn how to play football when they get to the NFL. And I get that there's an NFL style of football, but some of these guys coming in have already been conditioned about how that works because they're playing against pro style defenses or they're playing in a pro style offense. So they get in, they're already ready to go. He's making it sound like they have to learn how to play the position when they get to the NFL. And if that is the case, then that school that they came from is not doing it right.
So first off, the school they came from is under no obligation to make them NFL ready. The school that they play for is under obligation to win their games.
I agree with
right?
that. I do agree with that.
I am going to say number two. I think there is a difference between learning football and learning how to play quarterback in the NFL. When I was growing up, my old man, I would, like every other kid, I'd be like, when the hell am I ever going to use calculus? Why do I have to learn calculus? No one's ever used calculus. And my old man would say to me, the sage that he was, my old man would say to me, you're not there to learn these things. You're there to learn how to learn. You're not there you don't necessarily need to memorize who the commanders were at the Battle of Trenton. What you need to do is learn how to take all these bits of information, learn what the most important parts are, catalog them, put them in order, and remember them, and then be able to think critically about them to reach certain conclusions and whatnot. And it, again, very sage advice, right? You're not there to learn what you're learning. You're there to learn how to learn. I think that's what Kurt Warner's saying. If you go to the NFL, or if you go play at college ball, they may teach you that on this play, you're going to look at that guy, and if he's open, you throw the ball, and then you're going to look at that guy to do that. That's fine. You've now learned if that guy's open, throwing the ball. If that guy is open, throwing the ball. What I need you to learn is how to recognize that guy's going to be open before he is. What I need you to learn is that guy's going to be open, but not off the first break. It's going to be off the second break. And here's why. Because that defender is over there and that defender's there and this guy's moved up, which means that they're in a double high set, which means that because I'm running a seam route and a center 9, that the seam route is going to pull the safety over the top, and then that 9 route's going to break to a flag, and then he's going to be open. I need you to learn why the guy is open, not that the guy is going to be open, right? Because if I can teach you how to look and recognize that if this set and this formation and that guy's over there, that means that this, and this are going to work. You know why Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are so damn good at calling audibles? It ain't because they just look and they go, I think this one's going to work. It's because they can look and diagnose the defense and go, I think they're doing this, and they most likely are. And against this play and this route is going to be the thing that's most likely. I need you to learn how to play the game. This is the one thing that concerns me about Bryce Young. Why was Bryce Young drafted number 1 overall? Why was Bryce Young considered by most, not all, but most, the guy that they would have selected 1 overall? It's because Bryce Young is supposed to be a very cerebral quarterback. Bryce Young's supposed to be a guy that has this deep, complex understanding of what's happening ahead of him so that he's a step ahead where every other quarterback would be. He doesn't have to rely on physicality. He's going to beat you up top. He's going to beat you with the noggin, right? And I haven't seen that yet. And that's my big concern. But I have also said, he shows up with Frank Reich in charge. I don't think Frank Reich was in any way interested in teaching Bryce Young that element of football. I think Frank Reich was there to prove, hey, look, I got screwed by Indy and I'm going to prove it here. And I think he was out to win games, not develop a quarterback. I think the same thing later in the season. Who the hell was going to develop at that stuff? And then this year comes in, I do think, and I'm not blaming him, but I think as a first-year guy, even though the premise of bringing Dave Canales in was to learn something to Bryce Young, I think Dave Canales also has a bit of a desire to prove that he is the guy, that his system works, that his tactics works, that his game plans work. And so he wasn't necessarily fully, I think, it's a hypothesis, that he is necessarily dialed into developing, 100% dialed into developing Bryce Young. I think he's also in on proving that he's worthy of being a head coach. His system works. His tactics work. And so maybe BY's not getting the opportunity. Or there's option 3, which is he just ain't that good. And I acknowledge that that's very on the table. I also think it could be a combination of both. But I think Kurt Warner's spot on here. I think we are doing 2 things. Number 1, we're telling guys, we need you to go out there and make plays, and we're not teaching them. We're not learning them up. And number 2, we're teaching them to throw to the open guy, not to understand why the guy's going to be the open guy to throw to, and then be able to take that and move it to different parts of the football field and find the next guy. Good take from Kirk Cousins. Good take from Kurt Warner. Kirk Cousins probably knows it too. He's a very smart old man. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. God, what an idiot. I agree, Lester. It is how. Are you stepping away?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. Be right back. 30 seconds. think it's a wonderful question to ask, not just professional wrestlers, but like anybody who works or is known for going out at night. Okay? Here's the question Jey Uso got asked. What's your go-to Waffle House order?
Can I ask, what's your order at Waffle House?
For real?
Yeah, I used to know.
Man, all right. Triple hash browns, scattered and covered. You got to know the language. If you don't, I mean, it's like going to Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? You can't say large.
Little
you know what I'm saying?
add-ons.
We don't know.
Yeah.
6 scrambled eggs with cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 waffles with chocolate chip cookies.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hold up, I ain't done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lemonade, the 2 lemonades there. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink nothing else but lemonade at Waffle House. I might need like 3 or 4 of those, and then maybe a coffee at the end.
You full after?
Nah, that's just
Okay.
You ain't even giving my kids order yet.
Oh,
but
geez.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we might be here all
Is that
day.
a lot?
That's a lot.
Man, what's your order?
I did 2 bowls, a hash brown, sausage, egg. Just got last night. It was good. It was real good. It was real good.
That's too much. It's unhealthy.
Okay. Ignoring the fact that my man doing the interview said bowl of hash brown, sausage, egg, which is phenomenal order, by the way. Phenomenal order.
So I haven't been there in a long time. So they actually have bowls with.
No, he asked for a bowl, which you can do. They'll do whatever you want.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So my man effectively makes like a breakfast salad, right? Like throw the hash browns in there, put the bacon, egg, sausage, and then put an egg on top, mix all that thing up. Now you got the egg that's kind of mixed up with the head. Oh, it's a phenomenal
I would
order.
say that's kind of what I do. I've been doing it since I was a kid.
It's a breakfast casserole.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
but mine had gravy on it.
Yeah.
So,
and
I
you can
mean-
ask for that. Put that little white gravy sprinkle across the top. I'm a white gravy on the Waffle House everything. All right. My go-to order, great one. Ham and cheese omelet, 4 eggs, not 2, extra ham, extra cheese, hash browns on the side, white gravy and ham covering it up. Jey Uso goes 3 hash browns, scattered and covered, 6 scrambled eggs with cheese melted on top, a pair of waffles with chocolate chips, a lemonade to drink, and then a coffee at the end.
That's just a lot. I mean, just a half a dozen of eggs alone. That's a lot.
That's a lot of food. And I do like to point out, my guy is a professional athlete, all right? He burns more calories in one show than Lonzo and I do in a month, all right? It's a bunch of calories is pretty normal for a pro caliber athlete. By the way, for those of you who don't know, for your hash browns, scattered means that they're extra crispy. And covered means that they are melted in cheese. So my man is going like everything cheese. All right. And I respect that. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of going peppered, which means they're popping jalapenos on there, capped, which means they're going mushrooms on there, country, which means they're covered in that sausage gravy. And then if you want to flip it up a little bit, skip the country and go topped, which is chili on the top.
All right.
Chili hash browns untouchable.
Again, I haven't been there in a really long time. So the capped and topped and all that kind of stuff. I heard those are like add-ons to me compared to what it used to be, just smothered, covered, and chunked.
No,
so
those are add-ons. Those are add-ons. You get it. You order hash browns.
Add-ons to the add-ons is what I'm saying.
Oh, you can listen. There's scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, capped, country, or if you got huevos, you go all the way, which is all of them.
All right. So if I were to go into Waffle House for the very first time today, and I've never been in a Waffle House, all that's going to be explained to me.
Yeah, it's on the menu.
Is it?
Yeah, they're all on the menu.
So, but in that terminology.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll say scattered. Yeah. It'll say smothered.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll have them all laid out for you. Grade the Jey Uso Waffle House order. 3 hash browns, scattered and covered. As we mentioned, scattered means crispy. Covered means melted cheese. 6 scrambled eggs with cheese melted on top. 2 waffles, chocolate chip waffles specifically. A lemonade, and then a coffee to cap it all off.
You know, a couple of years ago, we had a friend of the show, Mark Henry, on, and he was telling us about the food that he ate during his.
What do you order from
World
Waffle House,
Strongest
Mark
Man.
Henry? Everything.
And
One of everything.
I would think Mark Henry would think this was a snack.
Yeah, he would. I'm gonna give Jey Uso here a B- on the order. The hash browns are a classic at the Wahoo. I'm getting hash browns every time I go. You like them your way, I like them mine. I'm good with that. Hash browns good. Going 3 times the hash browns, I'm great with that. They're good hash browns. I'm not a scattered guy because I don't really like the extra crispy. All right. I like them to still have some potato texture to them, but I'm good with the hash browns your way versus my way. I'm good with that. 6 scrambled eggs. I understand. You're a pro athlete. Yeah, I mean, like, eggs are your go-to, right? I get that. And the cheese melted across, that's fine. 2 Waffle House chocolate chip. I'm going to go this. It's big, which I appreciate. It's got a little variety, but it's kind of basic, Jay. It's kind of basic. Like, it's not bad. But it's kind of going to go a B- Waffle House order. It's okay, but it's kind of basic. Like, I feel like there's a lot more on that menu that you could roll up into. And you know, like, if you're going to go 6 scrambled eggs, do it in an omelet and add some more onto it, right? Like, throw you some ham in there, get you a little extra protein, a little extra breakfast meats in there. Where's the bacon, Jay? Where's the bacon? Gotta have some bacon in here. What are we talking about here? Like, I feel like Jay's got a good foundation of a Waffle House order, but like, it lacks a little flair. Like, there's no flair to it. Where's your flair, Jay? Where's your flair? For Yeet King Jay Uso, I thought there would be a little flair to it, and there's no. It's just it's good. It's fine. It's just very basic.
Also, Jay Uso has kids.
Yeah, a couple of them, I think. I think he's got 2 or 3 of them, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, real quick. Got a minute. I'm not going to say what it is yet, because they have asked.
Wait, Jay Uso's been married since 2015. Then how can they do the? I'm confused.
Yeet. You know why? I know why. We all know why. It's because of the person involved. Yeet. The Greenville Triumph. I'm going to tell you right now. Remember yesterday when we said we were kind of bummed out because Robert Salah got canned like 15 minutes after we got off the radio? I want you all to do me a favor, and I want you to follow the Greenville Triumph social media accounts today. Because at 4 p.m. today, they are going to make an announcement that is going to, even if you're not a big soccer guy, blow your mind. I mean it.
Are you allowed to? So this was I'm
allowed to say that there is news coming, not specifically what it is. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Follow their social media handle, because at 4 p.m. this afternoon, I am going to tell you the Greenville Triumph are going to make an announcement that even if you're not a soccer fan, you're going to go, holy crap, that's enormous. And it is. Trust me. When you hear this news at 4 p.m. today for the very first time, I promise you're going to be like, damn, that's big. That's big. And we are going to talk about it tomorrow on the show. In fact, not only are we going to talk about it on the show tomorrow, I pretty much tell you I'm going to have something to say about it after it's announced this afternoon. I am probably, I don't know if I'm probably going to go live at like 7:30 tonight to talk about this after Wire to Wire concludes. But I promise you, this is going to be, I will say this. I have been here 4 years. The Greenville Triumph are celebrating their 5th year anniversary this year. I can tell you that this is, I would say this is the biggest news since John Harkes was announced as the first head coach of the Greenville Triumph. I think I'm comfortable saying that. This is the biggest news that the Triumph has announced since year one, that A, they are a team, and B, United States men's national team legend John Harkes was the inaugural head coach. 4 p.m. today, the Triumph are going to make that announcement. Make sure you're following their social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, because I'm sure that they are going to post it immediately at 4 o'clock. It is incredible news. Incredible news. And as a soccer fan, as a Triumph fan, and as a sports dude overall, I got the news a little earlier today. Dude, it's going to blow your mind. Even if you're not a soccer guy, you're still going to be like, damn, that's big. That's big for the local professional soccer club. 4 p.m. that news is announced. Then we will talk about it tomorrow on The Rob Brown Show.
And now, The Rob Brown Show presents Twitter.
What the?
All right, it's time for, I nearly forgot to turn that on, but I remembered it. It's time for What the X, where I ask Rob.
What the X?
What the X is going on? Rob, the first thing that's Xing is Immaculate Constellation.
Immaculate Constellation. One of two things happened. Either someone very attractive got a tattoo of a star system, or I don't know.
Well, we'll see. When I first read it, Immaculate Constellation made me think that suddenly there's a new constellation in the sky. And we're going to look up and see a new constellation. But that's not what it is. It's a secret government program about aliens. And I don't know. It was trending. Dude, it was trending. And I'm like, okay. It's, you know, when things trend, they hope that you click on it because it catches your eye. And Immaculate Constellation is something, two words I've never heard put together before.
Neither have I. I mean, we've heard of the Immaculate Conception, the Immaculate Reception.
Yeah.
We've heard about a lot of Immaculate Ceptions of some case. Never heard Immaculate Constellation. I'm interested. I'm certainly want to read all about it and find out what it is.
Oh, the sinking feeling on his face when I told him what it was. Like, oh, it's another one.
Because again, it's like,
trending. And
I know I'm good with you bringing it up as a trending topic.
If you had a chance to say Immaculate Constellation on the air, you're probably going to do that.
It is here is the frustrating thing. The frustrating thing is we do this once a year where it's like, UFOs, and then 2 weeks later, it's never brought up again. Give me proof or shut up. That's it for me. Give me proof or shut up. We live in an age where you can't fart in public without 50 cell phones being pointed at the booty cheeks to record it and put it on the internet. But, there's UFOs everywhere. Show me something or stop.
Or if you're Rob, you just go out in the hallway. See yesterday's program. The next thing that's Xing is Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan! Okay.
One of your guys.
Florida man. All right, let me tell you who Lieutenant Dan is real quick. Hurricane Milton is taking aim around Tampa. It looks like it's going to be a little south of Tampa, which is great for Tampa because it puts the north or the left side of the storm closer to Tampa. The right side of the storm is dangerous. I still feel awful for those people, but at least it's a less populated area. Well, in Tampa, there's a cat named Lieutenant Dan. He is a one-legged military veteran who lives on a sailboat. All right, he's Lieutenant Dan.
Does he shrimp?
No, he lives on a sailboat. He's just a dude who lives on a sailboat.
Lieutenant Dan shrimp.
No, I know. Lieutenant Dan didn't shrimp.
He shrimped with
Forrest Gump shrimped, and then Lieutenant Dan needed a job.
Bought a shrimp
right
boat. Yeah.
So Lieutenant Dan was filmed by this guy, put on the internet yesterday. Lieutenant Dan said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm riding this storm out on a sailboat."
Is
and
that
the
what
guy's
he sounded like? I'm disappointed.
No, he very much sounded like slightly less twangy actual Lieutenant Dan. All right. So he's like, "I'm riding this thing on my sailboat. I'm staying. I'm not leaving." The guy's like, "You do know this is going to be a big deal." He's like, "Yeah. But I'm a man. I got a boat. I'm riding it out." And I got to tell you, I hope someone is capable of talking this man out of this decision, or else he is putting himself in a nomination for a Darwin Award and is going to win it because this thing is going to be brutal.
So afterwards, people are going to go looking for him. And if he survives,
he's going to be talked about as an American icon for years. More importantly, and this is where the jokes stop, what's going to happen if he makes it through this, and he's not, okay? I hate to talk about this. I hate to be morbid. If this cat stays on a sailboat, this guy's not making it through. If he does, though, what's going to happen is the next time a storm rolls through of this magnitude, a bunch more people are going to say, "I'm going to ride it out like Lieutenant Dan." And you know what that means? A lot of people are going to die. It's not fun. Wow. All right.
Wow.
It's not fun.
I get what you're saying, but way to end the show that way.
I don't know what to tell you. Listen, and hopefully it's not something that any of us ever have to worry about ever again. But my dudes, a Cat 5 storm, take this from a Florida boy who grew up on the beach and was around a lot of these things. Get the F out of the way. It's not a joke. It's not. It's not funny. Leave. Hey, y'all have a great, happy, positive, optimistic, uplifting rest of your Wednesday. When we come back tomorrow, we got Rashad Beer, we got Lulu Kesson, we got Fight Club, and we turn our attention towards the football weekend upcoming. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow on The Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Let me tell you what they done. They done kicked your ass, son. Wow!
Have you not seen Lieutenant Dan yet?
Yeah, no, I saw
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
He's exactly what you expect.
Well, I have to click on it to see what it is, and multiple showing up. It's like, yeah, it's about this guy, as opposed to sometimes you click on something and you're struggling trying to figure out why it's trending. That was not a problem. The last thing I would have went with is Absolute Batman, but you don't know about Absolute Batman, but it is trending because it comes out today.
I do, and I'm interested in it. I am first and foremost interested to see what the modern adaptations.
It's not what you think. Dark Side is showed back up, and so everyone's reinvented. And Batman is not rich, as I was told yesterday. He's a construction worker, and I'm just like, and Dante was telling. I was like, Dante, dude, you're spoiling. He's like, I just want you. I was like, I know, but you're in spoiler territory. I'm going to buy the book, but if you tell me everything, then I won't buy the book. Because I like variant covers and everything, but I'm more about the story.
Yeah,
and
I'm good with reinventing characters, especially.
I don't think it'll last. I don't.
If you're reinventing them to fit a new generation of fans, I'm not one of these people like, oh, they should have. But there are elements of a character that I do not think you can change without going, why don't you just make a new character? Right. And I understand why you do, because Batman provides you a platform of publicity you would not get by creating a new character, even if DC gives you a blessing to do it. But taking Rich away from Batman, I mean, you know,
last year he lost all his money because in the Joker War, and Catwoman helped them take all his money. He was completely poor for like the entire year last year.
I think I'm in. You know what? I sat here with a visceral knee-jerk reaction. And as I said it, the more I'm like, you know what? I am kind of interested because Bruce Wayne having to rely on ingenuity and smarts,
which he did.
I'm going to buy my way out of
which he did last year. He had no money at all, and he was still Batman.
I think I'm kind of interested. Just don't change his mother's name, because how else would he become friends with Superman if they didn't have the same mom's name?
Oh, you're so annoying.
Martha!
Why
did you say that name?
So annoying.
Your mom's name is my mom's name. We're friends now.
It broke him out of Darkseid spell.
Martha!
We can't break Rob out of Darkseid spell.
We have the same mom's names. That means we're friends now. Otherwise, you might have killed me.
No, my mom's name is not Rhonda.
It's a good thing that our moms have the same name, or else the bad guy would have won and this movie would have sucked.
My mom's name is Fontella. You're probably not going to be able to use that in a movie like
Fontella.
Yeah.
You're right. Doesn't have the same.
It doesn't.
Same kick to it.
It's not going to work.
Oh man, I don't know why it's funny, but it is. Martha. All right, I have to go do things. I have a meeting at Swamp Rapids preseason game tonight, which is why I got to leave early. I got to go do stuff before.
Not
that
stupid,
happens.
James. It might be interesting. I'll let you know tomorrow because I'm going to read it when I go get it.
I think he's saying stupid about the Martha thing. Martha.
Yeah, I only know a couple people who go to extremes, and you're one of them.
Going to the name,
thought the
going
Snyder Cut
to
was
the
good.
Martha thing is dumb is not extreme. It's very common.
No, it's not. I mean, common. Who else do you know who says that?
A lot of people. Why do you think that joke is a
Right.
meme at this
I
point?
need some examples.
At least me and James. There's two.
Okay, all right. That's two.
Martha. Hey James, is your mom's name Rhonda by chance? Because that would make sense that we're having this bonding experience because our moms have the same name. Goodbye, everybody.